Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. You already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. Listen, we got some official news. Obviously, we knew this information was definitely incoming, but finally we are at the finish line of the transaction and new ownership has came in to the Charlotte Hornets. This situation was clearly inevitable, and now we are here. Now, what's next? Obviously, it was a vote that took place. James Dolan was totally against it. Nonetheless, Michael Jordan, his 13-year tenure, is over. It definitely led to a lot of upset relationships. We all know Michael Jordan had a couple of fallouts with a couple of different of his foes, some that he was friendly with behind this. But clearly he wasn't getting the job done in Charlotte. And now it's time for new ownership. And I think Hornets fans, LaMelo Ball fans, should be very optimistic. We don't know what kind of spenders these new owners are. For all we know, these dudes could be trying to break the bank for all we know. And Charlotte might just buckle up because they might be trying to really retool around LaMelo Ball, things that Michael Jordan wasn't trying to do. Michael Jordan never wanted to dip into the luxury tax. Maybe this team can, and this team probably will have to, especially at the trajectory that is moving at. You don't sign LaMelo Ball into that max offer sheet the first time ever in history and not expect to build on that. This payroll about to get pricey, and it's going to have to in order to get this team successful. And the Charlotte Hornets, this time is winning time. Me personally, I don't see no way in hell that they don't win, this season. I'm not saying the chip, but in terms of winning. I would be shocked if they had another tumultuous losing season deep into the lottery. I would be completely shocked and appalled, but hopefully we don't get to that realm. But we're going to get all into it. We got to definitely break down the official sale, get everybody's thoughts on the situation. Michael Jordan is out. Clearly, this is one of the most unique situations ever where he's going to be out, but he's still going to be around. Have we ever heard of something like this before? We're going to figure this all out. It's Flight Sports. Make sure you hit the like button if you're new. Most definitely hit the subscribe button. It's Flight Sports TV. Listen, I got my man All Access in the building. Dex, talk to the people. We live.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest in these streets. Shout out to the panel as it reaches its premium peak. And shout out to the chat and all of its cacophony spewing out of the cracks and crevices of Flight Sports Block. And I would be remiss if I didn't big up everybody pulling up to Flight Sports TV and enjoying this content that is created by Flight Sports TV. And listen, to complete your process, you must hit the like button, you must hit the subscribe button, and you must hit the notification bell so you won't miss one iota of an exuberant experience. And we all humbly thank Flight for allowing us this space, this time to activate our content by inviting us to a front row seat to this extravaganza, up close, live, personal, in 3D. Thank you, Flight, for all of a lot of time you give us to sprawl our narratives and content all over the YouTube landscape. This is a grand and golden opportunity for us to expand our voices. Listen, Flight, I'm a little disturbed and I'm a little joyful. And I know that's kind of paradoxical in nature, but at the same time, this is strangely entwining into my basketball acumen. And what disturbed me is that we lost. We lost. We lost a great proprietor in Michael Jordan, who business model might not been totally agreed upon from the fan base and those fans in the NBA landscape, pundit, pros, and practitioners about his dealings and his proceedings as a 13-year owner of the Charlotte Hornets / Bobcats. What's also disturbing is that we do not have representation amongst the governors, aka oligarchs, gatekeepers, as black people. So that what disturbs me. But on the other hand, I'm a little elated that our boy LaMelo Ball don't have to lame it in the future about being a part of a growing into a contender and also eradicating the old business model of Michael Jordan. You gotta earn it. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. You know, leapfrogging and the the Navy SEALs kind of dictation. You know, can you hop over one? Okay, good. Can you hop over two? Good. Can you hop over three? Can you hop over four? And on and on and on before he relinquish the purse strings to suitable players, not just players that he just fawned over, that he just can't stop gleeing over. Not that, because he will unleash the treasure for that player, but other players that are worthy, he's very hesitant. So that business model is out. So here comes, as Uncle Vern says, the new sheriff in town. And let's hope this new sheriff in town insert and operate with a business model that'll get Charlotte Hornets and the Beehive closer to hoisting the Commissioner Trophy. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. Is it improbable? Likely. But the question is it achievable? And I'm saying, yes, it definitely is achievable, because we've seen teams like the Sacramento Kings get to Western Conference Finals against stouted teams like the Lakers. And we know in previous history, the Sacramento Kings has been a dead cell in a battery that's called the NBA. So if Sacramento Kings can come out of its coffin and riddle together and cement dead men bones to rise, to be competitive. It's been a long time, I know, since the early 2000s, but yet they did it. The Sacramento Kings is one of the teams that actually came out of the dungeon and became a pride and pursued team up there in Sacktown. They couldn't get past the Lakers. We understand that. That was a difficult feat. Not many teams could get past the Lakers. But Sacramento Kings could be used as a prime example of how you come from nothing into something. And hopefully the Charlotte Hornets can retake that path with LaMelo Ball at the helm to get into an Eastern Conference Finals competing for a spot in the NBA Finals. Flight.
Absolutely. You brought up obviously the Commissioner's Cup. I definitely want to get your thoughts on that because obviously we haven't really got a chance to speak on that. We got this new mid-season tournament that the league has been teasing for years, and finally they have basically laid it out, and it's going to be coming up this season. And you brought up the Hornets winning the Commissioner's Cup, which is the tournament. What's your thoughts on this whole tournament situation for the league and LaMelo and the Hornets? What's your whole thought process on this shit?
Well, I wouldn't call it shit. I think it would be very entertaining and tantalizing at best, because a lot of times our pike interests have altered once the beginning of football. And the NBA wants to keep that interest in their product. So, as well as make money. They always got to find new ways to make money, you know. And Adam Silver, I think, is doing a terrific job into bringing new aspects of the bag into the NBA by inserting the play-in tournament, and now soon to have a mid-season tournament, or in-season, not mid-season, excuse me, an in-season tournament. And I think it will go well because you're giving teams the opportunity to keep up the spirit of competition during the lulls and lows of the NBA season. And by these games matter, I doubt load management would take place. And where the stars won't be available for the in-season tournament, like that dumb shit they do in Summer League, take out all of the hype players after one or two games, and then let the drudgery of Summer League continues, which a lot of times it could be blood dripping out the eyes. Now, you do have some sparks in Summer League after the stars are gone, but really, I mean, that's not what people pay high price tickets for to enjoy. And now I think this in-season tournament will bring fans out more than they would if it was just going with the flow of old and just letting the season just play out. So you got to keep that in mind as well. And I think they're bringing it to Las Vegas. So they're going to descend on Las Vegas with fanfare that's going to be out of control, because Las Vegas have seen the productivity financially of the NBA being a part of its city. Now you taking out the draft. You're taking out all the drafty players and some 2-year players, and you bringing in the big boys. You bringing in that sledgehammer down to Sin City, and the people are going to go crazy. If they go crazy for Summer League, you know they're going to go crazy for the big stars. The players that they probably never had an opportunity to see because maybe there's no basketball there like that. I don't know if they travel outside. You know, if it's the Lakers, yes. It may be Phoenix Suns, yes. But outside of that, I don't think Las Vegas really travel far to see teams play. I mean, Golden State might get some, but outside of that, I don't know, Flight. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to descend on Sin City, where the temperature will be moderate. It won't be as scorching hot as it is right now, in the 120s and 119s and things of that nature, which is unbearable, practically. Good for the casinos, though. Good for indoor activities, but outdoor activities, there ain't nobody walking too much. So I think it would be a good thing. It would be a damn good thing for this in-season tournament to descend on Las Vegas and to repopularize the sport in that fashion under the neon lights.
So whoever wins, what the hell is the outcome? Is it just a trophy? Is it some type of seeding, home court advantage? What is it? You didn't hear anything about that?
Well, they get
I think it's cash
500,000.
consideration.
They get 500,000.
That's
Everybody on the winners squad get 500,000.
it? Oh man.
What do you mean, oh man?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they
Yeah.
filthy rich. I mean, what the hell is another million?
Everybody's not filthy rich, Flight.
Okay, you're right.
There's more low end NBA players than filthy rich players. You can best believe that.
Right.
Okay.
And on top of that, it's not even just about that too, because the whatever you do in a tournament.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
You too. I had to get a Uber Eats, but whatever you do in a tournament, your record goes towards your regular season, goes towards your seeding in the conference, Eastern and Western Conference.
Yeah.
So it's a
Except
way
for the
of keeping cats
championship
from
game.
tanking. Yeah, except for the championship game. So what they're trying to do is keep cats from tanking. Because what this is going to do is going to make your guys that's not making a bunch of money play hard. And believe you me, even to a millionaire, 500,000 is 500,000, homie. That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's a half a meal right there. That's a deal.
I'll take it.
So
No, any of them will.
So
If my job had a tournament, in-season tournament, I'll take it.
So do you like the in-season tournament on the basketball one?
I do. I think it at least help them take the regular season more seriously, get them something that in mid-season they have to actually play for. And not only, like I say, it's because it's going to go towards your regular season record. So it ain't like you can just be like, oh, fuck that tournament, I'm going to chill. We just going to relax. No, you're going to actually have to turn it up because, and I'd say a lot of the players, the role players, they really want that 500,000. So the role players, they're going to be coming out playing their hardest for sure. But I mean, at least it's something different. It's something to go along the 82 game, because the 82 game regular season has gotten real boring to watch.
Nah, I feel you. Hopefully, I know the Knicks and the Hornets, I think, is paired, aren't they?
Yeah, they pair.
Yeah. So how does that work? Like, what is it like? How many games do they play in this mid-season tournament? Do you know? I'd have to look it up.
It's about 15, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But that thing with Jordan, man, Jordan came up like a fat rat, man. That's what everybody. I don't know if nobody's noticing or what, but that don't usually happen. You don't usually get $3.2 billion and you still own stake in the claim. Like, what is going on? When you usually sell that much, especially at that amount, you don't got no stake no more. So for them, in which I know that Jordan was in debt, he was in debt, and what they did was, because this is what the secret societies and whatnot do when you plugged in. What they did was they went on ahead and paid him at $3.2 billion so he could pay his debt off and still be chilling. and winning amongst the winning squad. So he's still winning. He still got minority shares, and I don't know who can dig up how much minority shares is, but like I said, that could be 49%, and that means you got every say basically. You got just as much say damn near as the nigga who got 51%. So you gotta figure it out. Mike ain't really that. Like I said, it's just a front. It's like Mike sold the team, but he really didn't. That's why he making the picks. That's why he all involved with the free agency. And Mitch Kupchak just said in the press conference, it's gonna be up to the front office guys. And they asked him, "Well, who's the front office guys? Is Mike still involved?" He said, "Yeah, Mike and the other two, the new nigga." Like, yes, Mike is still here. He ain't went nowhere. All they did was made his bank account fat. He was able to pay his debt, and he just don't own the majority shares.
That's facts. Shout out Basil Carpenter Jr. Salute to my man Twin. Shout out Rap Guy Reloaded. Shout out everybody in the chat. The NBA is going to be back real soon. There's so much politics. The off season is like, damn now. Some people say it's more exciting than the regular season, but there's so much shit going on every single day. You know, it's crazy. We think about James Dolan coming out. Obviously, it looked like he wanted Michael Jordan to stick around. He didn't approve of that. Did you hear that news of Dolan? You know, he got himself involved in this.
Well, I think James Dolan just wanted to have, at least one black representation amongst the governors, and now there's no black representation. So I think that's what James Dolan was mainly on. And to be honest with you, James Dolan knows Mike was forced out. I mean, it's obvious. He knows that. Just like they were trying to force him out. So he's not rocking with that.
Right. You think James Dolan, he don't get enough credit, do he?
Well, as far as credit, I mean, we know James Dolan is an asshole. We know this. He's a rich asshole. He has demonstrated that numerous of times. But at the same time, he do have what you call a moral compass, especially like these, he's probably looking at these cocksuckers try to push me out as hard as they could. And damn it, Mike caved into him. That's probably how he's looking at it. He probably felt Mike should have gave some pushback, but maybe Mike is not in a situation where he can get pushback. Maybe Mike really don't have the leverage as James Dolan have to give that kind of pushback.
Okay, so Dex, are you honestly saying?
Can you turn your mic up?
Before you go, Gemini, I want to remind the people before you go, I want to remind the people that James Dolan did hire the black president, which was Steve Mills, black general manager, which was Scott Perry, and it was a black coach. And my man was a Fizdale, even though shit ain't work out. He for people that is into that kind of shit, and everybody want to railroad Dolan, he did do these things. It just didn't work out.
And he also hired Isaiah Thomas too, right?
Right. But go ahead.
See how that worked out.
I just want to remind the people because some people forget. I don't know if Gemini Mike is good. Wow.
We're waiting on you to chime in, Gemini. Now we can. Yes. You better.
So basically what you're saying, Dex, is Dolan did this for self-protection, self-interest?
Well, I think not so much self-protection or self-interest because Dolan is solid. He's concreted in. They can't do nothing to him. They tried and they failed, even under David Stern. So he survived 2 commissioners that tried to extricate him somehow, some way, and try to force him to sell the team and things of that nature, and it didn't work. And he survived the media pompous that was hurled at him. So I'm not saying so much of self-interest because I think he's solid in his position as a governor, but I just think that he just don't like the politics of the governors. And so that's why he was the one only lone dissent on the vote to sell the Charlotte Hornets. And then he probably is a fan of Michael Jordan, probably grew up a fan of Michael Jordan, You're like, damn, they push him the GOAT out like that, because he knows the inner politics of surrounding this situation. I'm quite sure there's a NDA on this, and I'm quite sure Dolan is propositioned himself as the long dissent because he knew that how they try to treat him as an owner of the New York Knicks, and he probably
I dig that part, but when you brought up Mortal Compass, and I'm like, how can you say that when we got 4 examples? But I'm not trying to push
no
back.
the moral
That's your
compass.
feelings of it. So
No, I'm saying the moral compass is for the ownership, not for his disposition throughout his ownership. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from that circle, that moral compass from that circle. Like, man, y'all on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know damn well
so it
there's
is
other owners.
self-protection then.
Say
Okay.
that again.
All right. So it is self-protection, self-interest type situation. I dig
But
that. I just wanted
but
you to
I don't.
admit to
But
that
see,
part.
the thing that I'm disagreeing with, I don't think he's doing it for self-interest. I don't think it's a selfish thing. I think it's more of a backlash. He's given as a backlash to be the long descent. He's saying he's not trying to go along to get along. He's calling bullshit on this. That's what I'm surmising. The reason
Yeah.
why he's the only lone dissent on the vote.
Okay. All right. On that one, we agree to disagree, but okay. All right.
But
I,
you can explain the self-interest part though if you want.
what what a self-interest part is because it's a similar move but he wouldn't have had interest if he would have sold the team. He would have had to sell it outright, which Mike did not have to do. And just like the other brother did point out, it was to pay the bills. So at this juncture, I just personally think Dolan is personally speaking for more self interest and more self preservation. So will he ever sell a team? I doubt it. But the
Nah,
the
he's not gonna
governing
sell no
body
New York
did,
Knicks.
right, but the governing body was against him, but at one point in time, and it was against him heavily. So that's why I say more about self interest, self protection. But that's neither here nor there. But okay, all right.
Yeah, and then look at this also, Gemini. That
Mm-hmm.
Mike had a 3-year run, right? I mean,
Yeah,
13-year, 13's my bad. I said
right,
3 years.
right, right, right.
Mike had a 13-year run. He's been to the playoff a couple of times, but never won a series.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when you look at that, right, and I'm really speaking about the Kimball Walker era, when you had a player such a sensation like Kimball Walker, even though he was undersized, as most people would consider, he was undersized, but yet the team that he had and all of those guys around him circled the bandwagon and moved forward. And from that point, they felt, when I mean they, I'm talking about the governors or the commissioner, those people that's in control to try to move the sport forward and make money for small franchises. They felt Mike should have invested, but instead Mike divested. Like he didn't want to go spending money and try to contend for anything. He wanted to, whatever you are, whatever I spend, that's what we're going with. And so even though the NBA is a profit sharing entity, you still have to qualify to bring your hat in hand to receive the residuals.
So wait, are you saying Mike was pushed out because he wasn't winning? Or you think like he had to sell the team because he wasn't winning?
I think that is a big factor that Mike wasn't investing back into the team as he should. But at the same time, he's not the only person to do that. But a lot of those owners that have done that eventually got pushed out and sold their team because
but
they consider that.
got pushed back.
Dex, who? Please name an example of who, because there's been a lot of owners that was losing from football, baseball to basketball to hockey, has just been losing for years and years and years, and that's never the case.
Yeah, they did that with the Phoenix Suns owner, not this current Phoenix Suns owner, the one before him. They did it. They did it with the Sacramento Kings after they had their run.
The Phoenix Suns owner, before this one, got the team. Well, had that team in the finals. You don't remember?
Yeah, but after Charles Barkley left, he ain't tried to do anything else. Who was that? I have to go look at to see who the owner was. But the owner was connected to the Arizona Senator. Was that Fitzsimon? And got caught up in that bank scandal.
Yeah, usually when people got to sell their teams is when they get caught up in some bogusness or something like that.
And then you got the Sacramento Kings, the Maloof brothers. You have let's see who else. I'm not going to mention the Clippers owner because he did that, but they've been trying to get him out for the longest.
Bobby Jackson, Weber, Divock, they was in contentions all the time.
They wasn't in contentions all the time.
They was just planning on selling the team just because they got a lot going on. Like sometimes billionaires they got and they probably was okay through with it, but they wasn't forced to sell the team because of losing. Like when you own the team, you in. Unless you voted out by your own, if the people who got minority shares and those type of people, if they vote you out, like, okay, you ain't making the good enough decisions, we tired of your direction or your last say so, because they all got say so. If you got minority shares as an owner, your word is good too, but it's just the majority share owner, he has the ultimate say so. But if he keep going against the grain of what everybody else in the room that got minority share, then they can end up voting his ass out. But that ain't the case for Jordan. That's really the only way they can kick you out of your own shit. It was Jordan, if you didn't know, he was in debt, bro. And when Jordan's already a billionaire. So if a billionaire is in debt, then he's in debt some billions. So And that's why they had to go all about the way they did, but they did it to where he still owns the team. I think y'all really think he's out of he is not, he hasn't had to move his office. So if you think Michael Jordan's just gonna be sitting in that office and don't have a major say in what's going on in that franchise, then that's crazy. So he ain't been pushed out of nothing. They just gave him that $3.2 billion so he can pay off his debt and continue on.
Well, listen, anytime that you sell, you're gonna pay off debt. So that's regardless of the point. That's why you sell it, is to pay off debt. To go back to the Kings owners, like I said before, is that when you're not putting money into the team, then apparently the NBA is saying in so many words you can't afford to operate or run a team in the NBA. And if you start losing, then you're not going to qualify for revenue share. So if you don't qualify because you got to qualify for revenue share, they just don't give it to you. So if you don't qualify, because they don't like it to be 100% welfare. So if you don't qualify for revenue share, then where are you going to get your purse strings from?
Bro, they definitely qualify. They have been in the top 15 in attendance since LaMelo Ball's been there. So they went up. Their stock has went up since LaMelo Ball has arrived.
I wasn't talking about Charlotte. I was talking about the Kings. I was still on the Kings. Charlotte doesn't have no money problems. I already spoke about that about 3 or 4 streams in a row about how they're in the middle of the second hub in the United States banking financial center is Charlotte, North Carolina. Now we done spoke about that ad nauseum, so that's not new information. What I'm saying is that if Michael Jordan is still a part of the team, which he is, he doesn't have the head honcho title. He doesn't have veto power. And with ownership, that's what you want. You want to be the last word. When you sign your name on the dotted line, you want that to be it. That's pivotal. That's a exclamation mark. You follow what I'm saying? Now you have people that can go over Mike, regardless of what Mike thinks. They can say, "Nah, we ain't going that direction."
Yeah, but at the same time, like I said, they don't really work like that though. Usually, even the head honcho, he gonna listen to the room. There's a room. It ain't just the head honcho. The head honcho is the head honcho. He got the head seat at the desk, but he gonna listen to the room. That's what smart head honchos do, and they
Right,
gonna
but
take.
Jordan hasn't done that, though. Jordan hasn't done that.
I mean, no, Jordan hasn't done that. But like I say, if
That's
he
what I'm saying. You
wasn't
can't talk. We
if he
speaking about
was
Jordan.
if he was
Jordan
exactly
has been stubborn.
Yeah,
Jordan
Jordan
got
hasn't done that.
he's gotten to make the pick even after selling the team. He's gotten to be involved fully in free agency even after selling his majority shares of the team, I should say, because he didn't sell the team. So even though he showed his
No, he
majority
sold the
shares,
team. He sold the team. No,
he didn't
no.
sell
You
the
could say that
team,
he
bro.
sold the team. It's
He
not. He
didn't.
did not sell the team. He sold it,
He didn't sell the
and
team.
people and all investors got paid. All those who had invested in Charlotte gotten paid based on their sale.
He didn't sell. Selling the team mean you don't have no stake in the fight, brother. He
Not
didn't sell the
necessarily.
team. Yes,
Not
that yes,
necessarily.
yes. When
Like say
you
for
own you at the owner's table. J. Cole is at
Okay,
the owner's table.
okay, I get what he's saying, Dex. In other words, now he hitting you with the semantics that you have to
mhm.
state that Jordan's so partial of the team. He's asking you to change your verbiage. That's all.
You
I,
have to.
Even though, but listen, even though Gemini,
uh
there's governor meetings that he probably won't be privy to, because he's
Right.
not the majority owner. The person that's probably be privy to that is the two new owners that have the majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets, or unless they send somebody by proxy. So you can always send somebody by proxy, but Michael Jordan don't have that authority to send nobody by proxy, because
Right.
that proxy is not speaking on behalf of Michael Jordan. He's speaking on behalf of the two new investors, and one of those investors coming from Atlanta. One was
Right.
already there with Mike since 2019. That's Plotkin. He was already there since 2019. But the gentleman coming from Atlanta will join Plotkin and being the new leader and ushered in the new dispensation for the Charlotte Hornets. Mike doesn't have that. So we can say Mike is still a part of the team, but Mike is not the team.
Right. He's just asking you to change your verbiage. That's all. I get his point of view. I do. I understand it.
And see, and also it's like I understand. I just understand what's going on. It's like, yeah, you got to sell the majority shares, but yeah, you still in the building. We still value everything you do and what you about. It's like, so he is gonna be the. I think the same guy who's been with him from since 2019, like Dex just said. I don't want to badger his name. And then you got the new guy. They really still gonna follow Mike Lee. I think he's the next guy. Like just like, and that's the thing. When Mitch said he told y'all the two names, I
I
don't
hope
know
they
their
don't follow
names,
Mike Lee,
but
to be honest
but
with
he told y'all the two guys and Mike is who is going all when they got to say. He said when it come down to go listen back to that press conference with him and LaMelo, and they asked him that question about who making the decisions. Is it Mike? Is it he said it's Mike and them. Like don't get it twisted, basically.
Okay, but see, when you word it like that, you're actually saying basically they did an inside loan for Mike without the interest.
Yes,
That's
that's
what that sounds
exactly
like.
what they did. He's plugged in. He's Michael Jordan. So they're not about to let him go out like that. They went on ahead and plugged him in. And it's like we're not about to kick you out of your out of the Hornets, North Carolina King, basketball king. You just need to pay because you let it gamble and let it do all this shit. You so far in debt, so we just got to make this right, and that's that. Might fuck around and buy it right back in 2 years. He buy his shares right back on you niggas. Like never move his office. So and you can tell, and if the new owners is really running stuff, then it's horrible what the Charlotte Hornets have done in the free agency. That's just horrible. So they just as bad as Mike. It looked like they doing the same thing, sitting on their hands, just like they was doing when Mike was running the show. They sitting on their damn
That
hands.
point, that point, I could honestly agree because I honestly think they should have went after un, unrestricted free agency. Even could have got upgraded some people of the G League to replace what they have. That's neither here nor there. But yes, I do feel that they're sitting on their hands and trying to see how is this all going to play out.
But you got to also remember this that Flockin and Chanel, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Chanel. If it's not, I'm sorry for butchering your name, but the gentleman that came over from the minority owner of the Atlanta Hawks, that he was a part of that ownership since 2015. You got to understand when you have a takeover like this, or if takeover is such a harsh word, then if you have this kind of a merger transition, there's time that has to be taken for the new guys to come in to fill their duties than the old guys going out, because they just don't just go all the way out without helping the new team transition into proper position, because there's going to be a lot of hiring from this new ownership group because they want their guys in. Now,
That's not true at all, whatsoever. Whatsoever. When you
so
purchase, soon as Ballman purchased the Clippers, it was Ballman's show. Soon as all these owners after they spend billions of dollars to purchase a team, they don't need you to help them along. So the team that is so incorrect. As soon as anybody purchases a franchise, they going to work, and they purchased it at a perfect time, where it's the draft, the free agency, to
I
where everything
disagree.
is starting from zero for you.
That's not correct. Not in Charlotte's case.
it's not correct in no case. Not,
How is
not when
that
you
not
not
correct?
when you're doing what
How
high.
is it not correct? Go ahead and please explain.
Okay, hold on 1 second, per baby.
Okay.
The reason why
Let
I'm
it,
saying it's not correct, because anytime you're dealing with that much money and that much job loss, job hiring, those things are called merger and transition. And when you have merger and transition, those guys stay on until the new guys are comfortable moving forward without them, because they got to give them intel, they got to give them stratagems and things of that nature, and they got to give them pie charts, what was working, what was not working. That's how we
bro.
did it.
I don't mean to cut the decks. They look into all of that when they purchasing anything. They don't just purchase blindly and don't know what the hell is going on. They purchase, and you're really only talking about one person that's purchasing who's new. The other guy has been there since 2019. So you only got one guy who's coming in that you need to fill in. It ain't like he's dumb to what's going on in the NBA. He just said he
Okay.
came from the Hawks. So if
Okay.
he came from the Hawks, he's very familiar who's free agents, who's in the draft, who's doing what. All you need to do is talk to whoever you need to talk
Okay.
to,
Okay.
and
I
you're
think
up
you're
on game.
winging this
That's
right
it.
now. I think you're winging this right now. Let me read you something real quick. Um, Clippers sold for reported $2 billion to ex-Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer. Okay, the source is coming out of the L.A. Times, James Rainey. Okay, Clippers co-owner Shelly Sterling decided to sell the team last week rather than fight to maintain half ownership, in part because of a novel agreement that will make her owner emeritus and fund a major foundation to serve the poor, minorities, and battered spouses, according to people familiar with the $2 billion sale of the team. Now, the special provision in sales agreement signed last week with former Microsoft chief executive Steve Ballmer will allow Sterling, 79 years old, to maintain a significant presence with the franchise, even though she is giving up her 50% stake. The other half of the Clippers is owned by Donald T. Sterling throughout a family trust. Shelly Sterling sold the entire team to Balmer after taking control of the trust, citing her husband's alleged mental failings. Now, did you hear that part?
Yeah, I heard that part. I heard that
So,
part
so you
where
understand what I mean by merger and transition?
no, yeah, I understand very clear what you mean by merger and transition. If you're talking about somebody, Steve Ballmer had his wife, because they kicked
No,
old
that's
boy
Donald
out of the
Sterling.
league.
That's
What?
Donald Sterling's wife. Donald Sterling's wife, not Steve Ballmer's wife.
So
Donald
okay,
Sterling.
so no, not Steve Ballmer. Who the dude that had to sell the team, the Clippers? Who had to sell the Clippers?
Steve Ballmer.
No, he bought the Clippers.
Oh,
Who
oh
had to
no,
sell the
Donald
Clippers?
Sterling. Donald T. Sterling. That's what they call
No,
him. Donald T. Sterling.
no. He Donald T. Sterling was the commissioner, correct?
No, no, no. Donald T. Sterling was the owner of the Clippers.
Okay,
David
so
Stern
Donald
was
T.
the David
Oh,
Stern was
okay,
a commissioner, but at the time Adam Silver was a commissioner for this.
so you saying Sterling's wife, because they Sterling had to sell the team immediately and bounce the out. So you trying to say Sterling's wife helped Steve Ballmer?
Yes.
Oh, I don't believe that shit.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you what they
Hmm.
from the LA Times. I'm quite sure they have more information about it than we do. That's
Listen,
why I
listen,
cited
She
them.
did.
listen.
Actually, she did because she has the he signed the paper as far as his mental stability, and she is his guardian. Even though he continued the relationship with the young lady or whatnot, the wife still has the last say.
And you know
So
what? And listen,
yes.
that's different too because he bought the team like on out the whim. Like that was it was basically in the damn near middle of the season type shit. It was a emergency. We need to get you out of here and somebody else in here. So yeah, he came in and needed that assistance. But in this case, and in most cases, when people buy the team, it's in off seasons and
Oh,
they
it's
don't need
natural,
you to do
brother.
shit.
It's okay. It's natural to be assisted by the outgoing regime to help the new coming in regime to maintain the stability of that business. It's most times that's in the contract anyway. That they have 6 months to for a transition,
Oh, if you got a
six
whole
to
nother
nine months for
direction you
transition.
trying to go, why would you listen to
Oh,
somebody else's
I'm done with it.
direction?
I already read it to you. If you
Like that don't
refuse to
matter. That's
believe that,
because what
then
you trying to
cool.
you read one thing, and like I said, you didn't put it in the proper context because nigga
Oh,
he had the
Purple Baby,
emergent,
whenever you
he
get a
had to sell the
chance,
team
Okay.
chime in, Purple Baby.
immediately.
Fellas.
Purple
Okay.
Baby, you
All
can
right.
chime in whenever you get a chance.
Yeah. Let Purple breathe for a sec, please. Up, she done walked away. Um. At,
But
at
but
this point, at this point, I see both of y'all views, and I understand it. But with the Charlotte situation, it is a different. It both situations are different, and you cannot metaphor them with each other. But with Charlotte is a different animal, especially political wise. So I can definitely see both sides of your argument, but you have to literally go off of what's in that documentation, and that is a part of it that might sign to stay on. With him agreeing, with the new people agreeing to let him stay on, in some type of capacity, that they agreed to that. So that's the main reason why they're not moving his office, like you stated, and they wasn't even planning to move his office, like Dex is saying. I mean, but vice versa.
Dex ain't state that.
Well, that well, I
Dex
got them
think he sold the
confused. No,
team.
no,
Okay,
I got them
let me
when
say
I
this,
was
Gemini.
saying, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Adrian Wojnarowski, right? Senior NBA insider. And this was an
Uh huh.
article written June 16, 2023 at 9:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Michael Jordan has agreed to sell his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets to a group led by Gabe Plotkin and Rick Schoner for an approximately $3 billion valuation. According to league sources, the transition ends Jordan's 13-year run as majority owner. Chanel, a minority owner with the Atlanta Hawks, and Plotkin, a minority owner with the Charlotte Hornets, will become the franchise governors once the NBA completes its vetting and approval process. Jordan will continue to oversee basketball operations through Thursday NBA draft and the start of free agency July 1st. Once the sale is complete, once the sale is complete, once again, once the sale is complete, Jordan will keep a minority stake and maintain a presence with the franchise. Jordan sold a significant minority stake to Plotkin, founder and chief investment officer of Melvin Capital, and Daniel Sanjihim, founder and CIO of D1 Capital in 2020. And Shaheen is part of the group purchasing the Hornets, source said. So, with all that I read succinctly, they used the word what? What was the key word in all that we've been talking about?
That he will keep the minority shares.
No, the key word
That's
is
what you.
transition.
No, there's no. He will keep minority shares. He will keep minority shares.
We already
That's what
know
you
that,
should have
Pooh. That's
repeated.
not new information. That's
No,
old
but
information.
no,
Michael
all of
Jordan
that's
keeping
old.
minority
Everything you
shares.
just read
What
is
we're
old
talking about was the
information.
transitioning.
Everything you just read is old information, my dude. We all knew he was going to be overseeing the draft and until free. That ain't new.
Exactly. That's not
We knew
new.
that when that came
And
out.
and so was the minority share he maintained was old as well. We already knew that. But what we're talking about was the transitioning. That's what
There,
we were talking about. Remember, we were
Dex,
talking about the transitioning.
Dex, wait.
right there.
Dex was wait. Dex was only pointing out the transitioning. You was pointing out something different, and that's when I interrupted you all and said, Dex, I just think he wants you to change your verbiage a little bit. Remember? That just happened. But Dex was talking about the transition, big LeBron, for real.
Yeah,
You was talking
you
about
can
something
talk
else.
about the transition. The transition is you dealing with a person who still has minority share of the team. So that's not a transition like that. It's not like he sold the team, has nothing to do with the team, and they still asking him to do this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, I don't have
Actually,
no
at
more
this point,
stake
they really
claiming.
not asking Jordan to do nothing. If you really want to be honest, they kind of at this point, the new ownership has stated that they will hold everybody accountable that has a job right now with Charlotte, and they will be evaluating them upon their work performance. That is what the new owners said.
That don't
Before they
Jordan,
matter.
change anybody.
Jordan don't have the final say so anymore, basically.
Thank you, Purple, for coming back. Now state the what you was gonna state earlier, please.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, we know that though. That's like, we know it's
No,
just
but
like
you.
certain people. Robert Kraft, he got the final say, but he will tell you all the time. Bill Belichick he's the guy. He makes the decisions. He signs off and just trusting Bill Belichick what he do. Only time he butted in Bill Belichick's business is when he dealt with Tom
But
Brady.
you can't bring no. Hold on, little bro. Hold on, little bro. Honestly, that isn't a good metaphor because the one of the problems with MJ as a owner is that he doesn't stay in the owner's box. Kraft stays in the owner's box.
That's
So
not the
that's not
point. You
yeah,
just missed
wait,
up. You missed
no,
my whole
no,
point.
no,
Yes, you did. Yes, So hold on,
no.
because I just
You
heard what you
gave a
said.
metaphor.
The whole point, the whole
Let me
point I was
finish.
making,
No,
we
let
no,
me
because you cut
finish.
me off and
Let me
you're not even
finish.
saying it right.
No, I am
You're not
saying
even
it
talking
right.
about it right.
Kraft and
Now, what I'm telling
Jordan.
you is what I mean by that is no, you don't know what I mean. Obviously, I just heard what you said, so you obviously don't know what I mean. You took it the wrong way. Because what I'm telling you by this, the metaphor is that some owners don't trip on making the final decision. Some owners allow whoever they let make basketball decisions, whoever they put in place to hire, make those decisions, and they just sign off on whatever decision that they make. Some owners don't put the need like Jordan, and he want to be the head honcho and make all the decisions, and that's that. So that's
And
what I
that's
mean.
why
A lot of those
the
type of owners.
metaphor, that's why the once again, the metaphor when you admitted Kraft. Now if you would have said Jerry Jones, I would have been right there with you. But you used the wrong owner as a metaphor, as a sample piece. Now if you would have
What
said
type
Jerry
of owners
Jones, I
they
would
gonna
have
be?
been there.
You don't
No,
know what type of owners these
no,
new
stop,
owners
stop.
are.
I didn't. I'm not talking about the new owners.
That's
I'm
who I'm
giving that.
talking about. I'm saying you
Hey,
don't
bro,
know
I'm
if
not
they the
yelling.
type of
Why are you
owners
yelling?
that can
I'm not
listen.
yelling. Why are you
Listen,
yelling?
listen, listen, because you keep miscrewing. I don't know how you trying to fuck what I'm
No,
saying up. It's
no.
simple as this. The new owners could be the type of owners that just listen to what Mike say.
Once
They could
again,
just go with Mike say, nigga.
once
Period.
But why
again.
would they? Why would they?
Why wouldn't they?
Why
Oh
wouldn't they
man, this dude
look at
don't
the
make no
history?
sense.
The
Oh
history
my
dictates why they shouldn't.
My G, you not making no sense, my G. You
bro.
honestly not making no sense, my G.
Yeah, no, nigga.
And
To
So
and
a
I
he
nigga
want to fight
who
in your
probably don't got
corner.
no sense.
I want to fight in your corner. And the only thing I
I don't
pointed
need you
out
to fight my
is
corner.
I the only thing I pointed out is you gave a metaphor just of the wrong owner. If you would have said Jerry Jones, I 100% would have been standing right
Jerry
side by
Jones
side
cool.
with you.
Why would I say Jerry Jones?
Oh, because that's how Mike acts.
No,
Them
I'm
two
not
are the
talking about
spitting
how Mike
image of
acts.
each
That's what
other.
you keep. That's what you. This is why because you keep fucking up what I'm saying. I'm not saying how Mike acts. I'm telling you the new owners could be like a Robert
We
Kraft
talking
type of
about Mike. We not
person.
even talking
I'm
about the
talking
new
about the
owner.
new owners
but
could
but
be.
but
Listen,
Pope.
listen, listen. Hey, listen, little bro. Listen, little bro.
That
The
wasn't
new
me. That was
owner,
Dex. So
little
know
bro.
who you
Listen,
talking to.
listen,
That was
little
Dex
bro.
talking.
Okay, listen, little bro. The new owners could be the type of people like Robert Kraft or the it's a bunch of these type of owners that just allow whoever else to make the decision and they just trust in that.
Thank you,
Owners
Studio.
who
That's
like
the point
Jerry
I'm
Jones.
making, Studio. Pope is trying to lean towards Michael Jordan still being an impetus for Charlotte moving forward, but I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying why are you going to listen to a dude that ain't made the playoff in 15 years? Well, I don't know if it's 15 years, but I know it's been a long time.
Because he's Mike.
Dex. We also went over a couple of streams ago. We went over the improper draft picks also of MJ, even though two people tried to be Captain Kirk at the same time. So with the improper decisions of a lot of draft picks, thi- this is what you cannot base a sample size on Michael and not put it truly into context. So
Yeah,
if
in perspective.
you
Right.
honestly think that somebody's gonna spend 3 billion with a B,
And listen to Mike.
yeah, I I can't.
I don't know what kind of
All right,
Itzler he's drinking, but I can't see it
I
myself.
can't, I can't, I can't. I mean,
Mike
being
getting ready to turn into a Magic Johnson.
this is the difference about being a delusional fan and actually being a fan. That's what we're tinkering on the borderline of right now.
Well, how that don't got no fandomism, don't have nothing to do with this. This don't got nobody gives a shit about
No,
being a fan of Mike.
but Pope, okay,
This
Pope,
that don't even make no sense.
let's
What
put
are
it in
we
your
talking
business,
about?
right? Hold on one second. Let's put it in Pope business. Pope, you got a business, right? And now you want to expand your business. So you look over the landscape and you see a couple business for sales that's not doing too well. You go ahead and purchase them because they can help you. But when you purchase that business that's not doing too well, are you going to listen to that CEO or CFO when it comes to business decisions if they're not doing too well when you bought it?
First of all, I already told y'all he only sold the team because he was in debt to pay off his debt. If he wasn't in the debt like he wouldn't have had to sell the team. So I already understand that it's a game within a game. I think y'all really don't believe it. So but I believe it for sure. And I believe this is just a way of saying, here you go, Mike, pay off your debt. But yeah, you still basically run the Hornets, but we just got our names on it. It's a name game thing. Y'all think 3 billion is
No, I understand you,
yeah.
Pope. Please, I do
So
understand your
so
crescendo. But what I'm saying is, Mike,
yeah.
see, I'm being specific on Mike. Would you do that with a person like Mike when he already have a reputation?
Listen. You can't ask a person who is different from other people. They might look at Mike and be in awe of Mike. Mike is Mike. First of all, you need to understand that.
Or,
So
say the or now. You got to give both
it is no
sides.
or, because if there was an or, they
There is
wouldn't
an
allow
or.
him.
Or
Hold
they
on,
might look at
there
Mike
is
and
no or.
discuss.
This is the thing. This is the thing. There is no or because usually
There's
you don't
always an or.
buy.
There's always an
Can
opposite,
I
Pope.
finish my thought? You
Well,
don't
come on,
buy.
talk sensible.
I am. You just. I guess you
You said
don't
there
got
was no
common
or.
sense.
There always an or, Pope.
No,
There always
listen
an
to
or.
this. Listen to this, my brother. There's no or. If you're going to let somebody own
One-way
keep
street.
minority shares, can I finish? If you're going to let somebody keep minority shares, then that means you don't disbelieve in them anyways. If you're going to let them stay around, and you're not talking about you demoted him to the general manager like he got Mitch Kupchak's job. No, he still is a owner in this in the he's not the majority owner, but he's a minority
But that's what
owner.
matters. That's what
So
matters. Majority, what
what I'm
matters
telling
in
you is,
business.
if you didn't want him, if you didn't believe in him, if you thought he would all his basketball business sense was trash, then you would just buy him out, sir. So there is no or, because the fact is they allow him to keep the minority shares and to still say he's going to be over basketball operations and be a big person around this motherfucker. So that
I
tells
don't know
me
if Mike is
they
walking
must
around the
believe in him.
corridor sticking his chest out, Pope. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I
but
don't know if Michael Jordan is walking around the corridors sticking his chest out based
All
on
right.
his history.
Dex, if I'm understanding Poe correctly, basically he's just honestly saying that Charlotte gonna be trash for they're gonna turn into another version of the Orlando Magic, and they about to start the same.
That's what some franchises
That
are
is,
meant for.
let me say my part now.
Yes, sir.
That from what I'm getting from Pope, and Charlotte is going to stay at the barrel or stay at the borderline between trash and could have been and unicorns and rainbows, and Mike just there for sponsorship, which I know that's
I
why they
just told
kept
you he's going
him.
to be a Magic
I
Johnson. Didn't you hear me say
I, I
that? Pope saying Mike was going to
hold
turn into
on, but
Magic Johnson.
Dex, but hold on. But
Actually, a part of success.
No, we're talking about within the NBA franchise. We're not talking outside. We know Magic is a guru.
Oh yeah, and just like the Commanders, and Magic got a minority share in the Commanders, and he was on the interview today talking about how him and the other owners is everything is in play to change the name from the Commanders to this and that and the other, because if you ain't a nigga who got 2% stake in the claim and you got like 20 or 15 or 30 you got a big voice in the building. So you don't got the last say, but your say is, and like I said, The majority owner can't just go against all the time what the minority owners want to do.
The
In a
thing, what I'm
boardroom,
saying
yes,
about
they
Magic,
can.
Gemini, Pope, and Purple Baby is Magic inside the Los Angeles Lakers. He had owned 10% of the Lakers. Remember that, right? But all the while, Magic was an ambassador for the Los Angeles Lakers. So he was calling no shots. So you telling me by Michael Jordan not calling any shots, he's going to turn into the ambassador of the Charlotte Hornets?
First of all, he's already the ambassador of basketball, so that's one thing. And then two, 10%. That's what I'm saying. That ain't gonna cut it for you to have a big voice. 10%. You gotta sit at the table, but your voice is small. I doubt Mike has anywhere close to 10%. I'm trying to tell you, Mike probably got fuck around in 40-some% of this damn company still. So while y'all sitting there thinking he's pushed out the door, no, he just paid his debt off and he had to take a little back seat. But
Um,
to me, I think he got some owners that's just looking at him going to allow him to still make all the decisions.
No,
when
no,
you
that's
brought up Magic, I'm sorry, Purple.
not
Go ahead.
because in that. Let's be honest. If what Pope's saying is correct, I believe they would have drafted Scoot Henderson and not Brandon Miller if that was correct.
No, Mike wanted Miller. What are you talking about?
Okay, okay, okay. Pope.
Miller is Mike's guy.
I
Miller,
don't, he don't
Mike
have.
went. Mike didn't go to
If
Scoot's
Pope,
workout.
Pope, we don't know that just yet because Mike ain't spoke on Miller just yet.
Mike didn't even go to Scoot's workouts. He went to Miller's workout and had a one-on-one with Miller. He had jokes and laughs with Miller. So, and then they went with Miller. So, like y'all put 2 and 2 together, it equals 4.
So I'm gonna do this. With that being said, is LaMelo's Mike's guy or Mitch's guy? Whose guy is he?
Melo is neither one of their guys. Wiseman was their guy. Melo fell to him, and they happy to have him now that he's panning out to what they didn't think he was going to pan out to be. But they were sitting there like you see Dolan's hands crossed. They were sitting there with their hands crossed at first when Melo felt like, God damn it, we wanted Wiseman. So he was neither one of their guys. He their guys now. That's for damn sure now. But at the time,
But
no.
But
see,
they did send scouts out to the NBL though to see LaMelo. I know that for certain.
Yeah, they
They
did.
sent scouts because LaMelo was going to shut down, and NBA teams sent scouts out, and as well as the Charlotte Hornets before LaMelo shut it down.
Yeah, he was projected to be top 3 pick, of course. If you in that lottery, then I mean you got to do your job. you got to go look at.
Yeah, you got to do your job, no doubt.
You got to go check out who's
But on the other hand, I don't know if the Charlotte Hornets is going to run off Michael Jordan's dictates. I just find that hard to believe. Garnering his track record, and when you pull up his track record, it's not impressive. So,
Right, but
with these guys are billionaires, they're not dealing with unimpressed track records to make their money. So they're going to go with the golden calf. And I don't think Michael Jordan, far as talent evaluator, far as being a talent evaluator, is not a golden calf.
I think
but
Purple
Dex,
Baby hit it on the nail.
no, but Dex, when y'all brought up Magic had more power in that organization than Palinka, and that's what Palinka didn't like. So when
Wait,
you
I'm
said
sorry, Jim, and I can barely hear you, bro. I'm sorry.
I stated Magic had more more say than Palinka had, and Palinka actually hold the position, and that's what Palinka didn't like. So when you state about the percentages, that part was wrong.
No, we talking prior to Magic Johnson divesting his ownership in the Lakers. We speaking about Magic Johnson as a minority owner of the Lakers. He was just an ambassador. He didn't have no say so like that. I mean, Jeannie would listen to him because that's like his sister, as far as that. But when it comes to business wise, like the Tims and the Rambuses and people like that, that was always a part of Jeannie Bus tour of duty and Jim Bus tour of duty. Magic wasn't a voice that resonated through the Lakers as far as who they should get, why they should get them, what kind of style they should play, and things of that nature. Magic Johnson became the actual voice of the Lakers, not representation, not as an emissary or an ambassador. He became the voice of the Los Angeles Lakers when Jeannie hired him as president. And when she hired him as president, he was over Rob Pelinka, the only voice that was above Magic Johnson was Jeannie Buss. He was over Tim, he was over the Rambuses, and he was over everything that's dealing with sponsorship.
Right.
Magic was. The only voice above him was Jeannie.
Right, but prior to him getting the job, he was already his.
Magic didn't get fired by Jeannie's studio. Magic left.
Yeah,
Magic resigned. He did not get fired.
Right. Him and Pelinka was having it out too much in public within the office. So that's why Magic just said, I got other businesses that I'm running at the
No,
same time.
stepping down is not getting fired, studio. You was good in the chat, and now you kind of leaning towards the left. Stepping down is not getting fired, because remember, he did not tell anybody he was stepping down. Even Jeannie was caught by surprise. So when Magic stepped down, they was looking for Magic at the pressers, and Magic was nowhere to be found. Jeannie called Magic, and Magic said, "I'm no longer with the Lakers. I'm done. Y'all. That's y'all." And Jeannie's like, "What? No, we talking about this over dinner." Next day, they go to dinner. Yes or no?
That's because they wasn't listening to him. He didn't have a voice like you saying. he clearly stated he didn't have a voice. They was basically using him as a face. A figurehead. That was it. And so, but that's neither, Magic's Magic. I want to be on these Hornets though, because it was interesting that Mike didn't show up to Scoot Henderson's workout, neither one of them, and that he actually showed up to Brandon Miller's, and that's who they end up picking. So I wonder, actually, did the new owners want Scoot, and Mike and Melo wanted Miller? And so they just went on ahead and said, all right, fuck it, and signed off on Miller.
Well,
that's possible. That's possible.
Yeah, I think so too. But obviously, I did see them do a little bit of a presser when they had introduced LaMelo, but I don't think they really sat down with new people and did any kind of interviews yet. So hopefully they one soon.
Yeah, they chilling. They cool on doing new interviews. They're like, Mike, we like behind the scenes. See, that's what a lot of owners, some owners like to be behind the scenes. You don't got a lot of owners that's like Jerry Jones and Michael Jordan and like to be, and Steve Ballmer and like to be front row center, and Mike Cuban. You got most of them dudes, you don't even see them. You never even see them,
Right.
So,
that's more so because they're corporate owners. More corporate owners are like that. Like, you'll get James Dolan. He'll be sitting front row at a Knicks game. You follow what I'm saying? Because he enjoys basketball. I'm not saying he's the best of owners, but he enjoys basketball. But most of these ownership groups come with so much money. They're corporate. They're not individually owned or family owned anymore. Most of those guys are gone. They're relics of the past.
No, it's I don't know. I just know, like, you don't see them dudes is probably gonna chill. You probably will never see him. The cat who was already there since 2019, he been rich. He been a billionaire himself. For him to be able to fork out a bill or two to get a mic, yeah, that's like they rich. They been rich. Even the guys who got minority shares, like the Hawks owner, he had minority share. He probably was cool with having minority share. Both of them have been billionaires, the new owners I'm talking about, and been cool with being minority owners. So they not even the type of dudes that want to swing they cock around. You understand? They not like They not like Mike or like Jerry Jones or like them dudes. No, they cool. They just had to do something. They had to go ahead and buy that for Mike so Mike can pay his debt off. But that's what I mean. I don't think like looking like, oh, we gonna change the Hornets around into a championship. No, though. Every franchise ain't trying to win championships.
That's true.
And they not.
And Mike was one of them.
Yeah, so no, the league don't fault you for that. Like you're gonna need those type of teams where they can be dumpster juices, and you get this here and there. And
Over, yep.
Well, Gemini said their tax write-off. I've been saying Mike is a 50-50 guy. And Uncle Vern keeps reminding me of that.
Yeah, you say 50-50, I say tax write-off. 100%
Because
tax write-off.
if I'm not mistaken, didn't Atlanta owners sell the
I'm
team?
looking for some tax write-offs right now. So I'm just putting it out there.
But
I ain't paid my taxes yet.
didn't the Atlanta, whoever owned the Atlanta Hawks, didn't they sell like 4 or 5 years ago? And stuff
Yeah,
like that?
yes, that owner did sell.
And then they bought
That's
it
when
out. They got rid of-
Danny Ferry was the GM.
yeah, and they got rid of everybody. I remember. I forgot what year Trae Young was in, but I remember they had got rid of everybody.
quickly. And I doubt they was.
If never quickly, Pope, stop that foolishness. You don't get rid of people like that in these type of private
crazy. If
private equity firms. The NBA is a private equity firm. You don't do that. That's not the business model. They call it transition.
Okay.
Either some guys get hired somewhere else, or some guys just transition just out of that league in general. And some guys leave the NBA and go to the MLB. Some guys leave the MLB, go to the NFL.
It's gonna be fully on you, whoever bought the team, on if you want them to stick around and help you do whatever you need to be done. That's gonna be fully your call. That's not a rule. That's gonna be okay. Yeah, can you show us such and such and such, or can you stick around until? That's gonna be your call as the owner. So
when you do a mass movement like that, it is part of the CBA. You just can't just fire a bunch of people at one time and just call it a day.
You're not firing.
It's called transition.
You're buying the team, and everybody knows when a new owner is coming in that nobody's job is safe.
I mean, nobody's job is safe with the new ownership group. I think Mitch want to retire, to be honest, but even Clifford knows that, and the coaching staff and whoever they doctors are, however it goes, because I don't know the intricacies of the staff and stuff like that, but they all know that. They said Jordan got one of the cheapest things in the league in terms of staff, so they not gonna be there for long.
I mean, I'm just looking at this new ownership. If that's what you want to call it, new ownership. It's only one new guy, and they still look like they doing the same thing that they've been doing.
Oh, would you agree if they fired everybody that they would set them back at least almost $1 billion?
No, hell no. Because if I'm firing now
You can
I'm
set
hired.
yourself up for a lawsuit.
Hell no, you ain't said nothing, man. Man, it's privately. I mean,
I'm
this is
surprised
your
Pope is
own.
talking like this.
Because that you're not making us sense.
Have you ever had employees, Pope?
Up. You is not setting yourself up at all, sir. If you got your own group, your own idea what lane you want to go, what direction you want to go in, and if they was going in a totally different direction, like I said, in this type of business, everybody knows when new ownership comes, nobody's job is safe.
I agree with that.
So that means that, they can wipe out. There's no lawsuit. That's just how it goes. It's a new ownership. It's not
in this upper echelon of business. When you're dealing with Fortune 500 companies,
That's
it
not
don't work
true.
like that.
I don't
You do not
believe
get
that.
dumped. You do not have a mass dumping on your head. There is a transition period, unless the company goes defunct. Now, if
So
you
do
go
the new-
defunct, then
do
you're
it.
off on your own. Like Enron. Remember when Enron went defunct? That energy
So-
company in Houston,
So
that
do
multi-billion-dollar company. That's a different
Obama got
situation.
Obama got to walk through Trump. So he got to stay on his administration for a little bit.
Yes, he does. Yes. No, you laughing. You laughing. Why are you laughing? And that's true. When the
Man,
new presidents come in, after
Mhm.
their inauguration, there's a 30-day transition period. What are you talking about, Pope?
They be roommates.
No, it's
Yep. I
actually
didn't
up to 45
surprise me
days.
right there.
The
I was
old
like,
president still come into the office for 90 days.
yep.
The old
Surprise.
president still comes to the office for 90 days.
I'm surprised that you're really adamant without information.
Like I say, man, this a different type of situation.
And then,
New owners, just like Purple Baby said, Atlanta Hawks just did it 5 years ago. They fired everybody. So
but
you sitting here talking, and that's not they're
Not
not the first one.
100%. Wait. Atlanta did not totally 100% fire everybody across the board. They
No, of
did
course you're
move
not going
people.
100%,
Let
man.
me
And that's
finish,
what I'm
Pope.
Y'all
talking about,
dudes is
dude.
y'all
Let me
come on,
finish,
man.
Pope. Let
I'm
me
not
finish,
talking to
Pope.
100%, but they
Poke, let me
fired
finish,
everybody
Poke.
basically.
Poke, let me finish.
Eventually,
They got rid of people that they was holding accountable within their position that they wasn't doing their job. But that percentage was if I really remember that percentage correctly, it was like 60% of the people that actually got terminated. And yes, they was terminated, but they did keep a lot of the higher ups that was already there.
What do you think when people get new coaches on teams, even from new coaches? You like if you
that's
assistant
different.
coach.
That's
No, it's
different.
not.
That's different, Pope.
None of
That's
this is
different.
different. It's not different.
Yeah,
When you
that's
got
not a money move. That's
when
not
you
that's
come
not the
in,
money move.
whether you're a new coach, new owner, if you're a new owner
Mm-mm.
and you don't want that coaching staff, you want to hire a different coach, you can fire the whole coaching staff. No
That's
lawsuits,
different.
nothing wrong with that. If you don't like the
There's
GM,
always lawsuits, Pope. Don't believe that.
if you
There's
don't like
always
the
lawsuits.
GM that they had, you can fire the GM. You can fire all across the board whoever you don't want.
but
Period.
you but
Oh,
you still
I'm telling you something. You might need to read Business 101. I'm telling you, when these Fortune 500 companies, they do not, when on the executive staff, they do not dump them massively like that. Because look, not only that, on your board, right? You got people that's over advertising. So you want to just fire the guy over advertising? All the advertising he's has brought and signed contracts with, you just firing him and not making a transition to allowing the new guy to come in and have that network
Dex,
center as well.
nobody's saying
What
they
about the
firing them and
entertainment?
they gotta go the next day, Dex. There's
That's
always
all I said. That's what I said. Transition. That's what transition is.
Dex.
That's all. That's the
When you
whole
getting
word of
fired,
transition.
you're getting fired, and you ain't listen. If you even if you transition it, I don't need you to come with no new stuff for us. Like if you're the art man or whatever, and I tell you, okay, I'm giving you 2 weeks notice, a month notice, whatever it is, 2 week notice, get your shit together, you're out of here. I don't need you to come to me within them 2 weeks. Tell me here goes some new work. No, nigga, you out of here. So it's like the
Gentlemen,
same
can we
thing.
keep going?
It's like the same thing with Mike. It's like if we bought this franchise from you, we want you out of here. We don't need you picking our players no more and going through free agency and all of that.
But the deal wasn't consummated. That's the only reason why Mike was still able to go through the draft and the free agency market because the deal wasn't consummated. The deal will be consummated officially in a week from now. 1 week from now, you can say Michael Jordan is not the majority owner officially. But until then, you can still say he is. So in that contract, I'm assuming in that contract this was the date the sale will be consummated after the board of governors will vet these owners, these new owners, and accept them in the circle. That date will be July 30th. You follow what I'm saying? So
I hear
everything
you.
happened before July 30th. So that's why Mike was still able to command the draft in the free agency market for the
Y'all just
Charlotte Hornets.
y'all just be ready for Melo to go on a nice 4 year run of a struggling squad, trying to carry it. But I believe he can do it though. He'll be at it. They're gonna be at least a playoff team, bottom playoff team at some point in this 5 year span. But yeah, they ain't about to make no moves, man. We can forget about it. The whole time he gonna be there. We can forget.
So you feel that the Charlotte Hornets new ownership will be SOS, same old shit?
Same old shit, man. They gonna fuck around and lose next year. Watch this. Next year, don't let Miles show up and show out a little bit, have an all-star caliber type of situation. He fuck around, be out of there. There's gonna be teams ready to pay that boy, and they ain't gonna be able to match. PJ Washington mess around, be the same thing. Then you mess around, just have Melo and Miller, and then Rozier.
And that's not good enough?
Hell no.
Oh, Mark Williams, Melo, Miller, and Rozier, and Nick Smith Jr. That's get it out the draft. That's reality too. Like they can lose PJ and Miles next season, which is likely to happen if they ball out. The only way it won't happen if they don't ball out. If they don't ball out, go ahead, Purple.
No, I'll just say when it comes to PJ, I don't care if he ball out or not. I don't think the people is bringing him back anyway, seeing how this offseason went for him. So, but with Miles, that's definitely the case. So,
yeah,
PJ, they want something better. And
you have no faith that PJ will play into a new contract?
No, because y'all got to understand, we keep talking about Miles coming back. And then do y'all think it would be, I'm not going to say fair, right, if PJ had more of an important role offensively than Miller? Because both of them going to be coming off the bench. So,
well, for sure PJ have him. If PJ not starting, when Miles like if. Because, I mean, if I'm Clifford, I'm starting Miles at the small forward and PJ being my power forward and Gordon Hayward would be coming off the bench if I'm Clifford. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what these Hornets going to do. Because that's interesting.
Because y'all, is PJ top 15 at his position?
No. Hell no.
That's why I said I wouldn't run in a secondary, for my secondary unit. I wouldn't run a guy that I don't think is top 15 worthy at his position. Offense through him. Like, that's why I think regardless of what kind of season he had, he's out that door because it's not being consistent. Like, at least when Melo came, Miles' play was consistent. You know, his numbers were consistent. PJ had a good first year, then the second year, and the third year was like, okay. Then his fourth year was, okay. And then he thought after having one good year that he was going to get, he had more than one, but, he was going to get paid 15 to 20 million. That's wild.
Well, see, the thing with PJ is I wouldn't put it past him to get a little bit better than he was just last year. And if he get a little bit better, if he and don't let him get a lot of bit better. No, that ain't a word, but don't let the nigga get a lot of bit better and actually develop a nice post game and start crashing the boards a little more, average a couple more rebounds than he normally do, then somebody will be probably ready to give him 18 to 20 million next season. And the Hornets.
But that's a starter though. Like, who he's starting besides Philadelphia, but they look like they going downhill.
That's why I say it just depends. It depends on what he do this year. Like I say, he's not that old of a player to where he can't get better.
Oh my eyes.
So that's why I say if they ball out, because it's a possibility that he can look good. and put up a good, it's a possibility. I don't know, Miles, it's a possibility. He could make an All-Star run.
Now, if
And
it goes the way that you say, Pope, then they're going to ground Brandon Miller. That's what you're saying. He's going to be grounded.
oh yeah, I mean, I say yeah, Miller is gonna be coming off the bench, deep off the bench, damn near. If I mean, because I wouldn't see why you would start when once Miles come back, why you would start Gordon Hayward at the three, who's slow, and you need that guy to be athletic, your three, because a lot of threes in
That's
the league. Yeah,
what I've been saying. But that situation is dead. They Gordon to be the starter only because of the money.
but see, that's what I don't. I just don't think that the money when you on your last year, the money is not even an issue. No, like if they don't have you in their future plans, I don't think that's their concern because
I,
they could.
but if that's the case, then why don't you just start Miller from day one? Then
Well, no, because you still, like I say, well, from day one, you probably can, but I don't think he's good enough to take Gordon's spot. I think Miles is. Miles is good enough to play to start at the three, and PJ start at the four, and Mark Williams at the five, and Terry and Melo, 1 and 2, and then coming off your bench, you can have Gordon coming off along with Brandon Miller. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I don't know. I guess Miller gonna have to play the two when they come in, and JT Thor at the four.
But with Pope, let me ask you this from an offensive standpoint. When it comes to PJ, is his production greater than Gordon and Miles combined?
Hell no. PJ can Miles and Gordon Hayward combined?
Yes,
No.
that's what I'm. I don't see that. I
No.
think he's gonna play the four. Gordon, of course, the three against my better wishes. And I think between him and Miller, it's gonna be rebounding defense and depending on the situation, who's scoring better.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be Cody Miller and PJ off the bench.
And I keep forgetting about Cody, dog.
Yeah, you got Cody coming off the bench, and I say that's gonna be basically your four out. Your 4 out, 4 in would be JT Thor 4, Nick Richards 5, Cody. Oh wait, damn, wait, no, PJ, my bad. PJ 4, Cody at the 3, Brandon Miller at the 2, PJ at the 4, Nick at the 5, and Melo at the 1. That's the end of that first quarter.
Guard too. That's another problem. They still looking for one. I thought Dennis Schroeder was still a free agent, but he not. I forgot what team he went to.
Man, these new ownership / Jordan is sitting on their damn hands. They have.
Hey, look, you guys listen. The Gordon Hayward, former Celtics, right? We know he had some unfortunate times in Boston,
Right.
but we gotta really, because I did a little research on old Gordon, because I was like, I know a lot of people talk trash about Gordon now, but I was one of the ones that remember Gordon Hayward as a up and coming Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, he had the 2 horrific injuries up in Boston. But even though he had the injury in 2017 and 18, Hayward came back and played 72 games in 2018 and 2019, 1 year prior to Michael Jordan prying him away from the Boston Celtics. And Hayward was making a salary peak at $32 million. And he was the highest statistical. He had the best statistical campaign in Boston, averaging 17.5, 6.7 rebounds, and 4.1 assists in 2019. So when Michael Jordan fetched for his services, he was a decent player, a fringe all-star basically that year. And then, of course, Michael Jordan did give him that $250 million contract. But I wanted to say this. Gordon Hayward ranks ranked top five all time in Celtics salary history. So if Michael Jordan fetched him for the 120 and he's getting 30 million a year, whereas Boston fetched him for 32 million, it might get a bargain because Gordon Hayward made $673,000 per game as a Boston Celtics.
No, Mike didn't get a bargain. Mike overpaid for him. Even with Indiana, when the Hornets paid him, that wasn't his market value when he went on the market. Boston made him available to the market. I think that Jordan overpaid him by like $2 million or something like that.
So you saying Jordan overpaid him?
Yep.
So his value supposed to decrease.
Yeah, he was coming off that injury and stuff like that. And I don't know what his athleticism, because I really don't remember Gordon Hayward until he got to Boston. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, so, you weren't familiar with Utah version.
Oh yeah. I told you.
What about when he came out of college at Butler?
No, I'm telling you, I never heard of Gordon Hayward before.
Oh wow.
But and that's
he was a beast.
Bad player, huh?
He was a beast.
Yeah, and I ain't saying he was terrible like the whole time. I just never knew of him until he came to Boston. But it was interesting to me. I understand Boston's fan base, and it makes a lot of guys uncomfortable. So that's understandable. But it was so interesting to me, still to this day, why he, knowing what his market value was after injury and his agent, why they just didn't stay in Boston. Like, it's fine playing behind. Well, he probably wouldn't have started off playing behind Tatum.
He wouldn't have been able to get the money back, probably.
But remember, Jordan overpaid him though.
No, but still, somebody was gonna pay him. He like Derek said, he was healthy when he came back. He played 70-some games, and that's because he wasn't asked to do as much. He didn't have to carry no loads. He was coming off the bench. But in all hindsight, people's eyes, it was looking like he only had to come off the bench because Boston drafted two killers in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So it was like looking at Gordon like, okay, he could definitely be at least a cornerstone piece to somebody who a weak franchise like Charlotte or Pacers, something like that.
But
so
Indiana didn't want to give him, like, he had looks from all the teams, right? I'm telling y'all, nobody, the contract that that he got from Charlotte, nobody else was willing to give him. They overpaid him drastically.
But what I'm saying is that he was just coming off of a Boston Celtics salary of $32 million. Mike didn't pay him $32 million. So Mike did pay him less than his previous salary.
Yeah, because of his injury history.
And then do you know that Gordon Hayward was making $673,000 per game, and Tatum hadn't even reached that mark yet.
Yeah, he was.
Tatum only making $166,000 per game.
That because he was fresh out. Let me not use.
No, I'm talking right now, as we speak.
But no, we know these white boys, man. They be having them agents that and then these owners,
big time, right?
They'll give it to them. These owners will give it to them. What's the other cat name who used to white boy? Huh? Yep, Parts. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Flight? Did you hear that, Flight? Michael Jordan.
That was true. I seen that on Twitter earlier today. I didn't think that was true.
Slat in the building.
Wow, that's crazy. Michael Jordan breaking up fights. That's crazy. So back to what I was saying is that Jason Tatum, the eye candy for Boston Celtics right now, he's only making $166,000 a game.
But yeah,
Gordon Hayward was making a whopping $673,000 per game.
Gordon was when he came to Boston. Gordon was in what, year 7? or something like
I'm talking now, purple baby. I ain't talking.
that. I
I ain't,
know,
I'm
but it mattered at the time when because wasn't Gordon's trade to Boston a signing trade?
He definitely overpaid for him. We know he overpaid
No,
for
I
Gordon.
think Gordon walked over to Boston because I think the what it was if I'm not mistaken, Utah, Tyrone Corbin was a coach, and they had Spider Man, right? They had Spider Man there, and they
No.
just allowed. They didn't what you call that? How you match it? Their free agency.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, Utah didn't match, and that's how Boston won that. Because Utah wasn't going to trade Gordon Hayward, as far as I understood.
Nah,
They just didn't match. They just didn't match what Boston had offered him.
and at the time they offered him what they offered him because that's what he was. He was a franchise guy. At that time, he was definitely a friend. They had him. He was gonna be their starter, not Jason Tatum. He just broke his leg first game, but he was gonna be the starter. That's how Jason
Right.
Tatum got that job. Really,
Yeah, he broke his
So
leg
what
the first
year?
game. You know that, right? The very first game that he suited up in Boston for a regular season game, he broke his freaking leg, and that was on national. That was nationally televised. I remember that. I can't remember. Was they playing New York? Was that the New York or Philly they was playing? I know it was a nationally
I
televised
forgot.
game.
I forgot who they
Either it was
played.
New York or Philly they was playing, or
I just
Cleveland, one
turned.
of the two.
I turned away. That made my stomach hurt. Like,
Might have
oh
been
my god.
Cleveland.
yeah. So
But
after that,
Dex, I was right. He was a 7-year veteran, and when the next his first year in Boston, he got injured. Then the next year he played not 18. What?
72 games. His second year, he played 72 games. I know that.
Yeah. And then the year before which is the year he got injured. So his third year in Boston, that's when he got traded. But he was a signing trade to Utah from Utah.
Oh, he was? He was signing trade to
Yeah,
Utah?
yeah, from Utah. I
Okay,
forgot
yeah,
who he
that's a,
got.
yeah, okay. No, you said trade. It was a signing trade? I
Yeah,
thought,
he went from
so they
Utah
signed
to
him. Who did he get
Boston.
traded for then?
Oh, let me go find it. Oh shit. Who was it?
And now, if he got traded for like some ancillary pieces, then that mean that they didn't want to match, so they signed him whatever Boston was giving him, and then Boston gave him a couple of little trinkets. That's the same with the Lonzo
I
Ball. That's
think
how
it
that
was.
went
I
with Lonzo
think it
Ball.
was for IT Isaiah Thomas and some. I think it was like a three-way trade. Probably. I think that's when they had
Isaiah,
IT.
oh, Isaiah went to no. Isaiah got traded for what's your name? Kyrie. I know that. That was a straight trade. Isaiah for Kyrie. That's it.
Okay.
What's this
Yeah,
team?
But yeah, man, it's
because
the
like remember
Hornets
what they
is the
did to Lonzo
problem.
Ball, right?
Okay,
When
I
they
got it,
signed.
guys. I
Okay.
got it. It says Gordon Hayward signed a 4-year deal worth 127 million with Boston. Whoa, with Boston. Anyway, that's not the important part. Uh that's not the important part. I gotta click on the link. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't remember him
I
being
knew that he
traded
signed.
though.
I'm
But it
trying
could
to
have
see
been
what
like the Lonzo Ball thing, like I was trying to explain. You know, Chicago already gave him the 80 million, right? Pelicans
Mhm.
wasn't going to match that. But what the Pelicans did, they signed him and then trade him for some little ancillary pieces with how Sky used to always call them trash. Those two guys, Thomas and the black dude that Sky just despised. But anyway, the center.
I didn't know that. Well, that's because I don't pay attention to Utah either. That's interesting.
Hmm.
It
So
don't
yeah,
say what he got traded for, but it do
yeah,
say that
normally
he
that's
got.
what it is though, because they wasn't matching whatever Boston offered, that 127 million. You told like, hell no, we got Spider-Man. Are you
Uh,
kidding me?
the reason why they said whoever owned the Jazz at the time they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder who they had on their roster back then. If
Rudy
they,
Gobert, they had all of them still. They had Rudy
Yeah, they still
Gobert,
have those guys. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Bogdanovich, whatever his name
oh yeah,
is.
so did.
Yeah, they had some players over there. They had Michael Con. No, Michael Conley wasn't there yet. Or did they? No, he wasn't there yet. He was
Yeah,
still on Memphis.
Yeah.
They
But
have
but
Spider
bottom
Man.
line,
That's all that
listen,
matters. They have
all
Spider
this
Man.
this the time we spend on Gordon Hayward, he probably won't even be on the team this year. The only way that nigga gonna be on it, like if I see them paying him off or waive something, like just go home because they got a roster. And unless he hoop out, like he come ready to do another 72 games like Dex said he did in Boston, which I believe that's what he training his body and getting ready for because he know contract is coming up.
Right. His last one at that.
Correct. So he want to make sure he available for that. I believe for sure that's what he focused on. It's just being healthy all season and getting in that type of shape and eating right. That's when niggas get to eating right. No contract come up. Oh yeah, I gotta go on that good diet.
Yeah, and then they go back to their same old ways once they get
Mm-hmm.
that money.
Mm-hmm.
You be like, what the hell?
What happened to him? Yep, and because he went back to eating all that crazy shit. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Now, here's a
know,
fun fact. Here's a fun fact. I'm gonna name some players.
Uh-oh.
The top 3 players in Boston history that earned the most money per game. We already know Gordon Hayward is up there.
Okay.
Kimball Walker,
That's not
564 million. I mean, $564,000 per game as a Celtic,
mm,
and he made 34 million a year as a Celtic.
what is we talking about?
And the last person to earn buku money per game, we're talking per game, was Vin Baker, the Starbucks manager. He earned over $460,000 per game back then. Crazy.
mm.
As a Boston Celtics. That's crazy.
What is these Hornets gonna do? Is what I want. To know. I'm gonna fuck
What do
about their
you
money.
do you
What is
want them to
these Hornets
do?
gonna do?
What do you want them to do?
Exactly. Basically, yeah. There's only so much you can talk about the Hornets now. Come on now. They ain't did nothing.
Man, I'm really
Like
disturbed.
I'm gonna be here unless they have a what bothers me, do y'all consider Memphis a small market?
Yes.
Memphis, yeah. Memphis is a small market, yeah.
So with that being said, I don't understand why, even with Chicago, why they can't come close to replicating any of the success that Boston, I mean not Boston, Memphis has had. The last time Chicago sort of did it was, before Derrick Rose injury and then a little bit after, when Jimmy Butler came to rise.
You know
But
why, Purple Baby?
why?
Because, right, listen, it's very easy not to have to do your job when you just worried about getting it out the draft. You heard what Mitch said. We focused on building through the draft. So then you after the draft you go on vacation. Free agency, you ain't worried about free agency. We not trying to sign nobody. We building to the draft. That's what they told you. We go on vacation early around this joint.
And I believe that to be true, but
For
still
sure.
with Memphis, it's like okay, Memphis is winning active. They getting televised games more than normal. It's like it don't hurt to just try because Memphis wasn't getting no free agents until they started winning, and even when they was winning, they still had trouble here and there with guys, unsure, and unless he was concerned about winning. Because I can't remember when Conley and them was there if they got any really big free agents there. Cause I remember they was making the playoffs and stuff, but I can't remember if they got
No,
anybody.
they had a smart GM and Jerry West who built them right.
He
Zach
was over there.
Randolph. Zach Randolph.
Yeah,
Okay,
they had a
When
smart
Zach
GM.
Randolph came there, he was a free agent, and that's what started the whole energy with him. Then the front
Who got Zach
office,
to get there? Who
then the
signed him?
front he was a free agent. He got there. Then that started the front office to start doing their job and holding them
I just
accountable.
asked you who signed him.
Find
was the
who?
G? Who was the GM of the Memphis Grizzlies, man?
Jerry West?
Jerry West. That's who signed him. He started. He like I said, Jerry West that
I
took the
answered
GM.
her question. That's why I didn't answer yours. I answered
You would have answered.
Baby's question.
Okay,
She
you
asked a
can't do
question
two things
about
at once.
free agency. Zach
Understandable.
Randolph was the free agent.
Yes, correct. And I was telling her that before you told her that, I told her that the GM Jerry West built that team. That's what happened. And he signed Zach Randolph, and he traded away, but Pau Gasol for Mark Gasol, and drafted Conley Jr. and so on and so forth. And so they was built up. And then he left and went to Golden State and built them up.
Do y'all know who played the most games for the Charlotte Hornets last year?
Derrick
Let's
Rozier.
see with the trivia questions. We don't care. We're the LaMelo Ball fans. We are not
PJ
Charlotte Hornet
Washington.
fans.
Oh shit.
Ain't nobody give a
LaMelo only
damn
played
who
36
we
games.
we know Melo didn't play.
LaMelo played 36 games, and Gordon Hayward only played 14 games more than LaMelo.
Mm.
Oh, well, hey, he played half the season. But I'm just hoping my boy Melo is good this year, like with no injuries. I am tired of seeing the Ball brothers go down with these injuries, especially last year for Melo. That shit was super crazy how he just kept cracking his ankles. Like,
Is
man,
it
what kind
true
of?
that LaMelo Ball is ranked 175 out of all NBA players?
I doubt it.
105 for what?
I doubt it. That could be somebody's list, but I doubt that's the official list. Whoever's list it is.
70 what?
Nah,
Like,
he ain't even been 100, and he wasn't at his rookie year. I
They
doubt
got
it.
Karis
I ain't
LeVert ranked higher than LaMelo.
What rank? What list you looking at, Dex?
Height, hoop height.
Yeah, that there you go.
I'm
That's
looking at hoop
it.
heights. Luka
Yeah,
Doncic is number 6. Kyrie Irving 34. Ooh wee.
wait for the real list to come out. I'm sure he'll be.
but
Well, let me see. Let me go look for the player ranking, the real list. This is some bullshit right here. These are the.
Hope I'm
I
gonna
was
be
looking for the Michael Jordan situation, but anyway, let me go for a real
I'm
list.
gonna be honest.
NBA player ranking.
Like LaMelo might be ranked maybe in the top 50 or 60, but for some reason, outside of Gaboni, when he do his list, nobody else really ranks LaMelo high. Like at all. I know, like they always state that they don't think he's a franchise player and that he don't play winning basketball.
I know he better play some damn defense this year. I know that.
I want to ask y'all something because y'all men. I mean, I get muscle too, but I heard somebody. But it within, let's say, a year, I don't know, but within a full calendar year, how much muscle does the average guy that's Lamelo age put on? Does it matter how much they work out and stuff, like in general? For
No,
they,
no. Metabolism. It depends on your you. Some people don't get big like that, and they can work out. And some people blow up when they work out. Uh,
right?
when they hit weight. So, and some people when they get older, their metabolism slow down, and that's when they start to flare out. But that being big don't really necessarily got nothing to do with your strength, though.
Yeah, I know that. Just because I look at Kevin Durant every day, and I'm like, where the fuck is his muscle
Yeah,
at?
do you see how Brandon Ingram play? That nigga be going through everybody. He'll go right through you,
And he's skinny as hell. I'm like,
skinny as hell. and
It
it,
does it does help if you have a nutritionist that is helping you watch your metabolism and your meal intakes. If you're bulking up, then that's when a actual player needs a nutritionist. A lot of players do not want to get that, and that's part of their problem. They only will get a personal trainer and do not have nobody watching their nutritional intake.
True, true. Got to have somebody watching that. That's Zion problem, major problem. And
Right.
yeah, I be having my little teams do. I'll be having a nutritionist come talk to my teams, and tell them what's not good to intake and whatnot. Oh yeah, that shit is important, very important. But he should be straight this year. What is Melo? 21, 22 now.
He 21 still.
I got the
I
LaMelo news. Y'all ain't gonna like it.
okay.
21.
According to CBS NBA, LaMelo is not even ranked in the top 30.
I figured that. I just
LaMelo
told
is
Huh.
not even ranked in the top 50.
I
Nah,
saw that. I
right.
told you.
I don't see it. How? Because of last season? Is it going by because he only played 36 games last season, so he don't qualify?
Yeah, kinda. That do take you down.
Because I think the season before this, when they ranked him, I think he was in the 40s, and Anthony Edwards was like what in the 30s or something like that.
Anthony Edwards is 30 right now,
I
according
know
to these rankings.
the season before this one that he got injured, they had Lamelo worked in the 40s, and Anthony Edwards was um pretty high up there, like really high.
I just hope my boy stay healthy all season, play some defense, and finish at the rim better than he has been. And boy, it's gonna be trouble. That man is dangerous. But this squad, sheesh. I say, let everybody ball out because they on contract years. Damn near the whole squad is on contract years. You got
Oh, they should be
Gordon.
top five. The
Yeah,
way you talking, they should be top five.
You got Gordon on contract, Miles on contract, PJ on contract. I think
Terry's auditioning for his stay that he won't get traded by the deadline.
ain't Cody Martin on contract too? Ain't he?
No,
Ain't
he got 2 years left. I was about to say three because I think it was
okay.
so 2 years.
But yeah, it's pressure on him though, because his brother just showed up. So it's pressure on him and the Martin family to him to show up, because Caleb made a name for himself. He not just getting called the Martin twin no more. He get, you know what I'm saying? We know the
He
difference.
separated himself, huh?
Yeah, he separated himself. So at the dinner table, it's like, okay, nigga, hey, it's time for you to do something over there. So he might be looking at he just even with seeing his brother do that, that's inspiring. You know what I'm saying? It's like, right, we is the shit. And you know what? I
His
can't
brother
wait till
was the
next year.
rebel. That's the thing. His brother was the rebel. Cody was a company guy.
Right,
Caleb
right,
was the
right,
rebel.
right. So that might have sparked him up with seeing his brother make
But
that playoff run.
you know what's crazy too about that? It says a lot, like somebody said last year about Charlotte and their development. Like, what the hell is going on over there? That it's okay to see flashes, but why wasn't it consistent? And it speaks volumes with PJ because I do feel bad, even though I know he hasn't played consistent, to not get one offer sheet for what he was looking for. That's wild to me. Not one team, not even your team that you with currently thought you was worth that. That is crazy.
'Cause they know you not. They know it's LaMelo. They seen what them chumps looked
No,
like before Melo got there.
no, purple is not crazy because Charlotte still holds the rights for him. He was restricted. If he was unrestricted, he would have got picked up and nobody would have been talking about Christian Wood. So if with him being restricted, that's the overall problem. If he was unrestricted, it would not have been a problem.
But what's the name was restricted, Isaiah Stewart, and he still got around that. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, no, that don't matter.
the issue, like,
But the frame is different. You're talking when when you're mentioning the both of them play power forward, yes, but one frame is totally different, and that's what a lot of teams actually look at with him. Because if you actually look at his tape, if he step up his conditioning, he in his cardio, he would be a small forward. He would not be a power because of his size.
He can't handle the ball. He got to be able to handle the ball on the wing too, and defend on the wing. I don't think he
So
could do neither one of those.
at this point, that's the main reason he's restricted, not unrestricted.
Who?
Why y'all didn't tell me Patrick Beverly went to the Sixers
You didn't know that,
ask.
X?
You didn't
Yeah,
ask.
the Hornets could have used him.
for $3 million?
Oh, true.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh
said.
my God. What
That's
was they
why.
all doing in the same room with each other? First of all, where was they at? I'm about to be nosy in the comments.
What did he talk? What are you talking about, Purple Baby? I'm lost.
Michael Jordan broke up between Whack
Nah.
100 and Charleston White. Where the fuck was they at that they was in the same minute?
You said Charleston White?
Yes.
And Whack 100. That's funny. So that's on. That's what's on YouTube right
So
now.
Michael Jordan hanging out with Whack 100? You got to be
That's
kidding me.
No,
I
he's
want to
not
know
hanging out. Them, you
where
got to remember. You got to remember them. They rich too. So if they in a rich place, then
That's
they,
a different kind of rich. Fucking with Mike
we
is a
not
different kind of rich.
thank you. We're not
kind
about
of,
to
but no, not really. Rich is
Hope, don't
rich.
start. Don't, Hope, stop. Don't do that.
Yes,
Don't do
when
that.
it comes to
Well, that's
going
on the
out,
manager right now.
it's rich is rich.
No, that's
they
not true.
they
That's
ain't
not true.
saying
Rich is not rich. Trust me.
they ain't even said where they was at. Like they just making fun of everybody.
Them dudes is millionaires, man. They can get in damn near any door Mike can get in, unless
Shout
it's unless
just
it's
ask
private,
see.
unless it's invite only.
Ask
Shit,
the
Mike. It was doors that Mike couldn't get in. Remember? Don't say that. It was
Hey,
doors Oprah Winfrey couldn't get in. So don't do that now.
I don't remember that, but you
Yeah,
probably do.
Mike was rejected to be in a country club. They rejected him, knowing who he was.
That's a country club. We talking about clubs, man. Talking about parties right now. Not
so
country club.
like the club just throwing a party on an average Friday night that all of them could be in the same vicinity with each other.
Well, correct. You could. It could be a. It
Okay,
could
then
be.
how did Tiger's a millionaire, right? How did Tiger get thrown out of Mayweather's club?
Well, cause doing some dumb shit. Whatever he did to get thrown out, but he didn't get. He didn't get stopped at the door. Like, no, you
Yeah, he got
can't
stopped
come
at
in.
the door.
You can't come in here.
No, there's clubs, Pope, especially in Hollywood. They will stop you at the door and turn you away.
Right. Dex, you mean to tell me you ain't been into the same clubs as these dudes before, as millionaires and billionaires?
Well, I have, but I don't. I have, but I'm not a
Oh, okay.
clubber.
I'm
But I
just
didn't go
saying.
there to club though. No, no, listen to me. I didn't go there to club. I
But,
went there for official business, not the club.
the whole point is you was in the building. Whether Whack 100 and them was there for official business or Michael Jordan could have been there in there talking business with somebody. Who knows? But I said I didn't club with, especially you. Like I said, you an LA cat, so Hollywood. Come on, we done been in all them type of clubs and seen all them people. All of them. I just seen motherfuckers at the VIP have at their VIP table with mountains of coke on their shit. You talking about Brad Pitts and the Angela Jolies of the world? Come on, what is the Pope doing in clubs like this with them? So these niggas they actually millionaires. Charleston White and Whack 100. They millionaires, man. Shit.
Well, I want to see the details what comes out on that because they've been jaw jacking at each other for years now, and they
Yeah, they
finally get an
have.
opportunity to clash. And
Charleston
Michael
just tried
Jordan
to
had to
talk
break that up.
police.
That's crazy.
Mike probably had to try to stop Wack from going crazy on him, and Charleston was on the phone with the police. Charleston know his role. He don't play the tough guy. He played I'll call the police on your ass. Hey, that's what type of guy. He'll let you know quick. I call police on you. Nigga, you come fucking with me. So if anything, I can see Mike probably trying to restrain Wack. Like, nah, man. Don't go beat the boy up.
Yeah, that's interesting right there. For those three, for not Wack and Charleston, I can understand them being at the same club. But Mike, I thought he was a little different cat when it came to that aspect.
So what, you think they was at a hood club or something? No. I'm sure they was at something very nice.
I just want to know where at, like what city.
I know Mike just did a photo shoot
Was
with
they in
his
Charlotte? They might have been in Charlotte.
Nah, he did a photo shoot with his it looked like they was out the country down there, it looked like, but I'm pretty sure they wasn't. But he did the photo shoot with all his Jordan people, Zion, Luca, Jason Tatum, WNBA chick, a couple other people, all the Jordan people. Some people who I'm not familiar with and some who I am. They was just doing photo shoot somewhere and they just dropped it today. He out there, class. I said they on vacation, man. The Hornets, they ain't nobody in the spectrum.
Nobody in the office. Nobody in the office.
Ain't nobody, know. They look. They on photo shoots and out partying with Whack 100 and yeah, they chilling, man.
They on some ratchet time.
They say, look, we gonna sign PJ.
I'm not even going to no club where Whack 100 at. I'm gonna keep it 100. That's a danger zone. That's ground zero. For all the stuff that he talked and the people that's on his head, no, I'm not nowhere near where Whack 100's at.
No,
if I'm clubbing.
No. You know, Mike a little wild, man. You know, you're a little wild. You're a wild boy.
I know. Listen, I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but I know why Mike was around them.
Mike, yeah, Mike a wild boy. His stories.
It's a reason why Mike was there. Now he had to break up the fight. Now he got to answer to that. What kind of company are you keeping, Mike? Mike is hanging out with the pariahs of society. Oh shit!
I know a couple of little escort agents, little escort girls, man.
I ain't going there.
Yeah, I just look Mike a wild boy, man. Yeah,
I ain't going there.
And I'm talking about for sure too. I know. Just though he say, she say, no, for sure say. Mike is Mike, man. He gonna be out there. You know, his son ain't. You know where you think his son got it from?
That's what I'm saying. I ain't going there. There's only one reason why he around those shadow characters. There's only one reason.
No, but see, you can't say he around them. He just somewhere that they happen to be in.
No, listen, he should be nowhere in the vicinity to be able to break up the fight. That's what I'm saying. So that means he was close enough to these guys to be a chat box. And I'm quite sure I know what Mike was chatting about.
Yeah, he damn sure wasn't chatting about them Hornets.
Nah, it had nothing to do with the Hornets. But it had to do with him stinging something.
Yeah, he wasn't chatting about them damn Hornets, man.
Mike was out there. He was the Hornet. He was out there trying to get him a sting, trying to get some buzz going.
All of them dudes is a part of this. I'm telling you, look, man, they go along, get along niggas too. Wack and Charleston White. They industry plants too, man. So he I can see them being in the same facility. Them niggas is all soul sellers in my eyes.
But nevertheless, Mike had to come in and break up the fight and be peacemaker.
Yeah,
so I'm quite sure they're gonna ask Mike, what are you doing in the same proximity of these shadow characters? Because all they do is edge on danger. They get on YouTube, Instagram, any media platform, and edge on Dana, Clubhouse, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know a person that's close to me that knows a good friend of Wax, and she be hosting some of them Clubhouse shit that Wax be doing. And I know it's all for show. But sometimes he get under the skin of certain kind of people and they be putting threats out on that dude, man. And they be meaningful threats. But I don't know if they ever get close to him, but they be meaningful threats. That's why I say I wouldn't be nowhere near him.
Nah, you ain't gonna get close to him on that type of level. I say they protect it. When you talk like how they talk, you protect it, bro. You wouldn't even talk. You wouldn't even talk that type of talk if you wasn't. You would know better, especially him being from where he from. He
from Pacoima.
That's what I'm saying. He would
right
know
across the freeway from me.
He would know better than to talk that type of talk. I have to be walking around Los Angeles. That's out. So
and then banishing Red. You know what I'm saying? He banished that Red. So I couldn't understand that to save my life that he talks the way he talked when he banished the Red.
Yes, that's what I say. I can see them being at the same spot at the same damn time. Mike is a soul seller. He been one, and that's his business. But it is what it is. But them niggas is too. So I can see them being in the same in the same facility at the same damn time. Go along, get along, gatekeeping ass motherfuckers. That's who they is. So Mike, y'all chill out, man. We all brothers.
I don't even know Mike use the word brother, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that's just an interesting. That's just an interesting combination of men. If I rather say that myself. And I wonder who else was there. So that's intriguing. To have a circle of companions from that sort.
I say the other people who was there was other soul sellers. They was there. I seen my nigga Zoe on Instagram. I seen him on the Instagram. Little Zoe's 5th birthday. Happy birthday to little Zoe. Zoe getting all big and whatnot.
Yeah, that was at Zoe crib.
Yeah, I seen him trying to play a little soccer. I was looking at the bin. He got into a defensive stance, a little halfway, little defense. I said, "Oh shit, what's that?"
Knee, huh? You watching that knee?
So, can he bend it? Is he almost back? Was that a sign?
You already know how Zoe is very cryptic in his messages that he sends out on Instagram. He's very strategic in doing stuff.
I'm going to do something for me, though, Dex. I'm going to need you to do something for me. I'm going to need you to holler at Big Baller or Zoe. Tell them, listen, man, they got to start doing that little girl hair. They got to start doing put ponytail or something. They got to start doing
something. That's the white side. You already know how the white side do it.
Yeah, but you got to do something.
You saw who was at his crib. You saw his granddad. His grandmom was at his crib. So that's the white side.
Hey, he rich enough to get us hairstylists in the blink of an eye over there, right at the crib. Get you Zoe, if you listening, big bro, come on, man. She too pretty to just be letting her hair she be wild. It's been like that forever too. Fix her hair. Y'all niggas be fresh. Y'all niggas don't leave the house without being fresh to death. You know what I'm saying? Fix that little baby hair, man.
Yeah, the way we do it, the baby's supposed to be fresher than you. You know what I'm saying?
Correct, though.
But on the white side, it's the opposite. The baby's just the baby until they recognize that there is a such thing called fashion. Outside of that, they just slap anything on the baby. Let's go. Let's roll.
Last time I checked, Zoe is a single black father. He ain't no white side. When she come with daddy, that's on. Hey, I know when I get my daughters, I can't do hair, so we going straight to the shop.
Yeah, I did my daughter hair, and I can't comb hair. But when she was young, I put that shit in a ponytail.
Right, yeah, I can. That's as far as I can get you, and then that's only gonna hold you till we can get to that appointment schedule. And Yeah, but we can't have you walking around.
Eh,
I can have a fly ass cut, and you got.
Yeah, you wild child, wild child. I never really paid for my daughter hair to get done. Because most people on her mom's side do hair. And so she was just getting her done for free, basically. And sometimes her mama do her hair.
Yeah.
It's when she got older, then she started having to go to the shop. But growing up, shit, it just her auntie do her hair, or her mom do her hair. I put it in a ponytail. Her grandmama do her hair, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I never had to take her to no salon.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, you see Zonee, how you do that little move when he was trying to psych his daughter out for kicking that goal? Knee looked like it's holding up.
I seen that pyramid shirt too. I was wondering, it looked a little sketchy when we was talking about soul. So I said,
Tim Scott.
Huh?
I think that's a Tim Scott shirt.
Yeah, but it got the pyramid. You see what it say? You see what that thing say too?
I didn't read it, but I think it's Tim Scott.
You out unless you all in. And that's what it say on it. I said, oh shit.
Well, hell, he's with the Clutch Sports, so you never know.
Nah, them little. He might not know what he doing. He might not know, but I'm sure he do know what the fuck he doing. Listen, I don't want to act like he's silly to the game. That's for sure.
No, I can tell you, Zoe is calculated. He's very calculative. But nevertheless, what I did also notice, I went into the comment section and everybody was offering their knee. I was like, man, everybody trying to sacrifice their knee. Take my knee, take my knee.
Yeah, take my knees, dog.
Blood sacrifice?
No, but I was like, damn, now that shirt was very interesting. It was the first picture too. Listen, I'm a nigga who pay attention to detail. I swear to goodness. And I'm like, it's a reason you put them. That's your first picture. And on top of that, like that motherfucking shirt is saying 1,000 things, my G. Like that shirt, I'm like, oh, don't do it, Zoe. Don't go into the light, folks. Don't do it, because man, that's the first sign is when they start wearing little shit. They start wearing them symbolic, them type of that pyramid with the all seeing eye. We all should know what that represents and what it says. You ain't you out unless you all in.
Pope, let's be honest now. Let's be honest. It doesn't represent one thing to all people.
True.
It could be symbolic for a multitude of things, because I know there's some other organizations that use the all-seeing eye and with the pyramid as the eye is the capstone to complete the pyramid.
Yes, you're right. But usually, especially in the entertainment world, when you wear shit like that, you either fiddling, you dibbling, because you usually know what those, what that represents. So I'm just hoping Zoe ain't gonna bite the
symbolism. That's what it is.
Symbolism, correct though. So I was like, that was very interesting, especially the words in there. You out unless you all in. Like,
maybe we need to look up Tim Scott as a fashion director and see what he's about.
Oh yeah, you can check it out. I don't want to believe so. Not with none of the Ball brothers. I don't believe and I don't believe so with Melo. Because like I say, I think they'll blow him way up. They'll actually be covering and talking about him. Yeah, but yeah. So wait. I'm just hoping, man. Oh, I was hoping they was not gonna offer him the max like they did. I was hoping that they would do what Charlotte usually does and try to lowball him so he can give him 2 fingers and say,
he can bounce. Yeah, he can bounce.
Yeah. I can't fault him for taking 260.
Neither can I. That's a lot of money. And listen, do you know that's the richest draft ever in the NBA 75-year history? 2020. The same draft they said it was weak. and will be inefficient, and most of those players will be out the league in 3 years.
Oh, yeah, they made some money. They ran it up, especially with Tyrese getting it. Tyrese and Melo 260. I think Edward was coming, right?
He got his already.
Yeah, I'm
Anthony
about
got
to
his
say,
260.
he got his 260. Yeah, so 260s. Yeah, that's crazy.
Desmond Bain.
Yeah, Bane.
What's the other dude for
Bane came out
Sadiq
with
Bey?
them?
Yeah, Sadiq Bey.
I didn't know Bane came out with them. They was still there.
What's your name gonna get his little bread down there in Indiana? Obi Toppin.
Damn, man, we gonna have fucking Theo Maladon. We still got Terry Rozier as the backup point guard. Because I don't see them putting in Theo Maladon and giving him just point guard duties.
I remember talking to somebody, me and Jim and I, talking about Terry Rozier being backup, and somebody was contesting that. I can't remember who it was.
Well, he gonna be backup point guard. He gonna be starting though, two guard. I think when they gonna take him out first, leave Melo. When the substitution happened and Brandon Miller come in, I think you take Terry Rozier out and then play Melo for that first quarter, long as he ain't in foul trouble. And then the beginning of the second quarter, you put Terry Rozier in and take Melo out and let Terry Rozier run the one and have Brandon Miller and whoever else in them on the wings. I think that's what they're going to do. Because I don't see Theo Maladon getting PT like that. Especially having to play Miller, JT Thor.
Well, Dex, the reason why I brought that point up was because that is what he played in Boston.
No, I remember me and you agreed that he played backup point guard, but I can't remember who was contesting that.
Oh, yeah,
NP. And I'll just leave it like that. MP. I'm saying the initials.
Yeah, he gonna be backup point guard. Team gonna look stagnant with Melo go to the bench.
No, they got Brandon Miller. What do you mean they're gonna be stagnant? Are you kidding me?
Come on, Dex. You know, you seen the man. You seen the man. He gonna be standing in the corner like a corner hoe. He gonna be standing on the corner. You gonna think he was prostitute.
Oh wow, Popey, wow.
That nigga gonna be on the corner so much you thought he was a prostitute.
He gonna be on the blade. He gonna be out there like he on the blade.
He gonna be on the blade out there, folks. That's gonna be his position. You go wait till we pass it to you over. Just be ready to shoot. Be ready to shoot. When the car pull up, be ready to get in.
You know the reason why they didn't draft Scoot Henderson for real?
Because Mike
they knew they was bringing Miles Bridges back, and Miles Bridges were number 0.
But see, that's just where Scoot already knew to go 00. You know his shoes came out on draft night, and if you didn't pay attention to that the day before draft, he was wearing a jersey with 00 on it because it didn't matter if the Hornets was to get him or the Trailblazers. Lillard wears 0 on the Trailblazers. Miles wears 0 on the Hornets. So he went with 00 so his shoe could drop on draft night. He didn't, and it wouldn't be the mistake like Melo made. Puma made with Melo by making an NB1 and putting a 1 on there, and he still had the number 2 jersey. So they learned from mistake, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go with 00 because either team that draft me, either Hornets or Trailblazers, 0 is gone. So he already knew to go 00.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 00 on his shoes, on his Pumas.
Oh, okay.
They dropped on draft day before he even draft night happened. Yeah, so he was smart. That was smart too, because he looked at it like that. I think like either way, Portland Hornets 0 is gone. So I gotta go 00. And now, especially if I want my shooter drop. If I want my shooter drop my number on it on draft night, I'm gonna have to pick a number that I know nobody got either team.
Well, at least wait a minute. They got Gordon Hayward on the bench. There's a new Charlotte Hornet depth chart. And the new depth chart has Gordon Hayward on the bench and Brandon Miller starting.
Well, I don't think the depth chart can really hold no weight until training camp happens. Because in training camp, that's when you know who is who. When you figure out what's what. Yeah, that's the real deal. Because that's all the practicing really the teams get. After that, it's over. Practicing is the wrap. It's game time. It's game
Wow,
after game.
well, at least that's what they're projecting. So this is the starting lineup they're projecting. And let me announce that right after this.
This is Holly Heat of the Hot Seat with Holly Heat, and this is Flight Sports TV.
Please subscribe to Flight Sports TV, hit the like button, and leave a comment.
The Charlotte Hornets has at their depth chart is LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Brandon Miller, PJ Washington, Mark Williams. So according to ESPN, they're going to bring PJ back. And not only will they bring PJ back, they're going to put Gordon Hayward on the bench and insert PJ Washington as a starter.
Yeah, that's they recommend. That's their prediction or whatever. Probably. It's like how we've had this discussion who's going to be in the starting lineup and whatnot. They figure since and act like we figured, and a lot of some people think that Brandon Miller is going to start over Gordon Hayward, but me and you feel like no. So like that's they feel like Brandon Miller is going to be the small forward, starting small forward. But that's where it's gonna get funny because he should be, and as he should rightfully so. He should be that $30 million. That's why I was telling people that ain't the reason why Gordon Hayward would start is because of $30 million. Because he gonna start if he's better than the next man.
So the son of Will asked a question, and anybody on the panel can chime in on it. It doesn't even matter. Son of Will asks, will y'all keep a healthy Hayward at a better price? He's talking to the Hive.
Hell no. They already got too many at that position.
What you think about that, Gemini?
Actually, I would move at this point. Honestly, at this point, I would, if I can get him for a better price, I would move him to 2, and then that gives me time to develop the rest of the guard debacle, and I can still get something out of him. You're only gonna get offense. You're not gonna get defense. He is a cone type defender. We all know that, but at a much better price. I mean, he would really be taking a haircut, and his wife gonna jump on social media and complain like she always does. I mean, that's his. To answer his question, yes, but it would have to be a major haircut to what he getting right now.
So like
It'll
what?
almost
15
be like a
million?
Westbrook.
15
It'll
million?
almost be like a Westbrook type haircut. And Westbrook on in LA for his company, I understand that, but it'll be like a Westbrook type haircut.
Yeah. But nah, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it, but maybe so.
You feel that
Right
as
now,
long as Gordon Hayward's there, He's going to stunt the growth of Brandon Miller. And do you feel that if Gordon Hayward wasn't there,
No,
Brandon
that's why I
Miller
said
growth would be accelerated?
no. That's why I say move him to shooting guard so you can get through the development of who's going to be the guards right now. Because at this point, one of the Hornets, the Terrozier and Hayward salary is one problem. The other problem is the guard situation. So they don't even really know who they will be concentrating on because remember they just drafted three replacements and they don't even know who all they're replacing at this point.
I don't know what I
If they
listen.
wanted to waive, if they wanted to waive Book Night for prime example, because if I remember correctly, Purple said he's making like 8 mil. If they wanted to waive him, well, that time frame is going to waive him to where it wouldn't have hurt your salary cap. So now at this point, if you was to do anything, it's going to hurt your salary cap. And
Well,
he's one of the main ones that's up and down from the G League, from my understanding.
well, Gordon Hayward cannot. He definitely can't play the two. He damn near can't keep up with at the three. So playing the two, he way too slow. Gemini, I couldn't. And to sign him back for what? You just let him. You already got all these young guards and so on and so forth. Nah, he's out. Ain't no reason to sign him back. And I mean, you talking about going from 30 million to what, 3 million, 5? Like, nah, he's not gonna even take that. I'm sure somebody offer him something better than 3 to 5 million. But
No, but the reason why I'm saying put him at guard is because at this point he's gonna be a cone regardless of the fact of the matter. So I'd rather him be a taller cone that's gonna divert somebody from to make somebody adjust their shooting rather than be stagnant and mess up the growth of Miller and Bridges coming back. That's what I will personally do. And that would make more sense. I will move Terry back to PG, which that's where he really got his shine on that. Haywood, I will move him over because even with as a small forward, he's not keeping up with small forwards. So I mean, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
so why
When it
would you
comes to
bring
that
him back then?
scenario,
So why would you bring him back? Period.
what, what was my specific reason why? I just stated it, Pope, to help me figure out and develop these guards that I drafted as replacements because Charlotte has the always have the tendency to want to put everybody in the G League rather than see who do they want with their organization and who do they want with the G League. They shift everybody to the G League, then you have a debacle. Just like what they just did at Summer League. But you had to actual watch the games to see who was when they was looking off, when they was trying to be selfish, how they was being selfish. Hell, they was even looking over two wide open people. I've seen plays where the center of the power forward was wide open by the basket. They didn't get the ball, but the shot went up. Why? Because they trying to make sure they have a roster spot. That's what their whole situation is. So to get past that debacle at this point, that would be the cheapest way is to get him to take a haircut, type Westbrook type situation,
You talking about going
and
ball?
proceed on.
Haircut, fuck a haircut. You gonna go ball with that?
But that
Well,
will help me get by with this guard problem. The main situation is Charlotte has a guard problem. Regardless on how some people say Book Knight is playing out of position or playing in position, if you can't be a floor general for at least 4 minutes, I'm questioning your whole leadership potential. If you can't even give me 4 minutes, but that man's making 8 million a season.
4 minutes. No, I just don't
You
sign him.
talking four
Period.
minutes a quarter or 4 minutes per game?
Just 4 minutes. That's what they was basically asking of him to run point guard and then go back to run and shoot, and he was acting like a little Girl Scout out there. So I mean, I'm trying to be nice about it because we're on YouTube, but I mean, come on, man.
Nah,
Like
just don't bring him back. Go and try to find you some actual help. Is what not Gordon. Gordon Hayward wouldn't be the answer, even if you can get him on a cheap deal. That just be money wasted. He not developing nobody. He ain't doing that. I mean, just move on. He had him for 4 or 5 years already, and he been like average, not even that. And that's when So now bringing him back, you got a young core. Your young guys is getting older. They coming into their primes. Melo, Bridges. Let them be the leaders. You know what I mean? Are the guys to help develop the youngsters. That's crazy. Melo 21 and Miller is 20. Melo going his fourth year in the league. That's crazy. Melo been doing this. But yeah, Miller gonna be ducked off in the corner. Slim can hoop say he got Miller starting at the 2. That's crazy. But we shall see. I know Melo makes people better. That's for sure. You see Malik Monk come off the bench, deep off the bench. He wasn't even getting minutes before Melo got there. He started coming to the game shining. So Miller definitely got action. He playing with the right guy. He playing with the right guy. And Michael Jordan put mitts on someone tonight. Y'all gonna make me go and check this out. Is that what's happening? That's really what's going on? Michael Jordan was really up in there active? MJ, yeah, he ain't no sucker butt. He ready. Miles at the 2, not Miller. Miles who? Bridges? Nigga, tripping. What kind of rotation? Miles at the 2. No. I don't know about that, sir. But we shall see. We shall see. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to say the least on how Brandon Miller gonna look with Melo on the floor with him. How they gonna use him? Like I'm pretty sure they gonna duck him off in the corner like old prostitute and have him wait. And the only way they gonna get in transition like that if they play some defense. So they can get that, up and down that court. Play some defense, force some bad shots, get long rebounds and get out on that break. That's how you get the lobs and all of that. But they don't play no defense and they gotta keep taking it out the basket. And have court action. But they should Clifford should be drawing up something for their number 2 guy. Number 2 pick. He should have some plays definitely drawn up. Coming off some double screens, some pin down screens. Yeah. Easy peasy.
Purple, what's your outlook on that? Yep, I think Purple walked away too.
Oh yeah. Let's say we have LaMelo Ball. Miller doesn't have to do anything off the dribble. Yeah, he cornerstone hoe. I know that. I know, Slat. Yeah, he cornerstone hoe. He gonna chill in the corner. Wait for Melo to give it to us. But we gonna see how he operates. And can he handle it? Can he handle the pressure of the NBA and showing up? Because I don't even think he can handle the pressure. Like I don't think he mentally immature. His I don't know. I don't see it. So we shall see. It should be easy peasy for him. You see niggas like PJ Washington getting buckets because he he out there getting dimed up from Melo and wide open jumpers. Yeah, Miller gonna get that same type of action. Then you know, I was watching. Like I said, I was watching Melo highlights, and he was man throwing them passes right in their shooting pocket. He be throwing them things that hit you right in the shooting pocket. He hit Terry Rozier on a run. Then he threw it to the spot, made Terry Rozier go to the spot. And caught it on the money right into his shooting pocket. That just it as a shooter, that just makes you so comfortable shooting when you just receive the ball in such manner. And that's not usual. A lot of cats don't put the ball right there for you like that. Like perfect, pretty spiral type shit. And Melo P. So Miller gonna have that action. He gonna get those type of Melo gonna throw him open and all of that. Like like you Brady out there. Melo be throwing niggas open. Like he Aaron Rodgers or something. I swear to God, if you ain't seen it, go look. If you ain't seen it, I'm sure everybody has. But he throw people wide open. He be throwing people open, don't even look like they open. He fooling the defense. He looking a whole different direction. Throw a cross court pass on your ass in the blink of an eye. You're like, God damn. Yeah. So he gonna have action, Slack. I can't wait to see what he gonna do with that action. Anytime I bring up Miller, he's like, man, listen. Anytime I bring up Miller, I shouldn't have to bring up LaMelo as a number 2 pick.
Miller should stand on his own, right?
He should be able to hold his own too. This is what your problem is, Slash. That's why you lose the argument every single time. Miller should be able to hold his own. He shouldn't need LaMelo. What happens when LaMelo is gonna be on the bench, Slat? LaMelo gotta go to the bench to get a breather. Well, you only put Miller in with Melo in. Anytime, look, Melo get in foul trouble, Miller, come out. He be like, Coach, I ain't in foul trouble though, but yeah, Melo is. You ain't shit without him. You ain't shit without him, boy. Come sit down till you get in the game. When you check in, you check in. You check out, you check out. Okay? Jeez. Man, that's what you telling me, Slat? He doesn't need him. Slat don't sound like it, Slat. It don't sound like it. It sounds like you said up there. You said it act like Miller ain't gonna be playing with Melo. Like as if he needs Melo. So yeah, when you check in, nigga, when Melo check out, you bring your ass out. I don't care if we just put you in with him. That's what you telling me. That's the number 2 pick. What he gonna look like with the second unit and Terry Rozier is at the point guard? What he gonna do then? Huh? What he gonna do when it's him and Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges on the floor together? And he don't got Melo to drop him the dimes, throw him open. What he gonna do then? He gonna still look like a number 2 pick? Or he gonna look like a little prostitute you see on the corner? Waiting for somebody to stop, pull up on her. Manage. He will manage. He'll manage. Dex, that sounds like a role player to me, folks.
Listen, I'm befuddled. I'm going to be honest with you. Because the expectations of Brandon Miller are starting to lower, and lower. Pretty soon, they're going to accept that the number 2 pick should be on the bench for damn near half the season.
Yeah. Like he is starting, like he a quarterback for NFL or something. No. He should be out there playing. He said he'll manage. He'll manage. So he's not gonna shine. He's not gonna shine, Slim. He's not gonna still do him because he's him. Because I would think the number 2 pick and number 3 pick, one should be him. He can shine whether you on the floor with me or not. Manage.
He should want to be on the floor without LaMelo at times.
Yeah, so he can take over for the team.
No,
Yep.
Dex. Polk is the one that's saying take him out when Melo's out. What Slim is saying that he believes that Miller can still be in the game without Melo in the game. That I think that is what Slim is trying to say.
Listen, they're going to have players in the game without LaMelo. That's guaranteed, or else they're going to forfeit. But what we're trying to say together, I believe that Brandon Miller should still thrive with or without LaMelo on the floor being the number 2 pick.
Correct.
Y'all saying, but see, y'all are saying all this before one NBA minute is played. Summer League is Summer League, regardless of how we want to look at it. It only got hyperventilated once LeBron started making it public.
Yeah, hyperbolic.
About him doing training camps and with Miami. That's the only time Summer League actually started being talked about and whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. But until then, Summer
Really
League was
2017 to
never
me.
really high, right? But it was never really hyped up to this point. Like people are trying to make it. Slim has a point. Until this young man has played at least 10 games in the NBA, you cannot base that because we are giving the edge to Scoop because he played in the G League. That is an edge to Scoop. But then you also have to look at not every college player comes from college ready to go. Prime example, I could use Flight Team with RJ Barrett. Everybody have faith in him, but RJ at least put up 14. 14 is not a bad number, regardless of
No,
how
it's
you
not.
want to look at it.
It's not.
So, but from the way Polk is addressing it like the man only gonna average about 6 points a game. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to clash about it or whatever. I'm just saying from the way that he's making it sound, and this is the way I'm intaking it, is that this young man is only gonna average 6 points a game.
Hope not. But what you think about Slat? Somebody answer Slat question. Brandon Miller will be LaMelo, Scottie Pippen.
And
Agree or
Can't
disagree,
be.
and why?
it sounds nice, and they both weirdos, Pippen and Miller. So I mean, but Pippen was a player. He was the player. Jordan didn't make Pippen into a player. He enhanced his probably urgency about winning and his focus like that. But Pippen was always a defensive and could score, a slasher. He was always like an aggressive player. Like he was dunking on. He was Pippen. So Miller is, and I ain't talking about summer league. Miller from college, from high school to college. See, some of y'all, I even watched when the Hornets got the number 2 pick, and I went and they were talking about, they started saying Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller. I went and did my homework on both of them because I hadn't seen neither one of them like that. I had seen Alabama in the tournament, but I didn't see Brandon Miller because he was historically bad. So, so at that time, I seen Scoop play against Victor, and he was amazing. So I had to go do my homework. So I went back to both of these young men's high school games. I wanted to see them there because that wasn't far long ago. That was a few years ago. So I wanted to see how they handled themselves high school. And got the story on Miller, got the story on Scoop, and how they journeyed on to Alabama and the G League Ignite, so on and so forth. I watched Scoop lead his team as a junior to a state title and won it, and actually beat a team that was better than his. And his sophomore year, they was also in the state title. They lost to that same team. They lost his sophomore year, and his junior year, they beat them niggas. And he had some key free throws at the end and key buckets. But so they won a state title. On the flip side, Miller, 4 years, 5 years, no state title. Because he got to be older than most people. Most one and dones is 19. He 20. He down there old as LaMelo Ball, who's been in the league 4 years. So it's like he must have got reclassified as well, and ain't nobody saying that yet. But he had to either play 2 years of senior year or two, or whenever he got reclassified, because he shouldn't be 20 years old right now. And nobody even talking about that. But that's real shit. He should be 19, just like everybody who's one and done. They 19.
Okay, okay. So let me ask you a question. This is the one time I'm gonna kick a MP, and I hate to do this. Are you saying that Reggie Miller's trash?
Who?
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
Uh huh.
No,
I'm
no.
I'm bringing it. I'm bringing him up
Did
for
you
a
hear
reason.
me say Reggie Miller's trash?
I'm asking you questions specifically,
You didn't
and
ask
then
me a
and
specific question. You just
I
said, "Am I
asked
saying Reggie Miller's trash?" Did you
I
hear me say
just
Reggie Miller's
asked
trash?
you, are you saying Reggie Miller's trash? That
Did
is
you
a
hear me
question.
say Reggie Miller's trash?
Oh my God. I asked you a fucking question. See, bro, I be
So the
trying not to
question
lose
is,
my
no, no.
cool with
So,
y'all.
I know you need to
Y'all
ask
can
the
ask
correct
50
question.
million questions.
Do I think
No, that's
Reggie
the
Miller is
question I
trash?
asked you.
Is that a question? Because that's not the same question.
Yes.
Do I think Reggie
Is,
Miller is trash?
yes. Do you
See, yeah,
think Reggie
See,
Miller is
that's not the
trash?
same type of question. Sir, know how to ask the
Do you
question.
think Reggie Miller is trash? That is the question.
No, not at all.
Okay. Do you think Paul George first year was trash?
Paul George first year.
Yes. In the NBA, do you think
I
that
didn't.
that
I
was
didn't watch
trash?
it. I didn't watch his. I don't recall his first year. I didn't watch
Okay.
Indiana
The
and
reason why I
worry about
bring
Paul
up
George.
now, let me give you the reason why I bring up those two players. Those two players let always have let the game come to them. When George first got in the league, he did not attack the rim like everybody's seen to his second and third year. He did not attack it the same way his first year is what I'm getting at. Reggie Miller, prime example. Didn't do nothing like that. Like what you want him to attack. And that's all I'm saying, big brother. Nothing
Okay,
more, nothing less.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying, they don't have nothing to do with this. First of all, because what type of player what I'm saying this whole time is he's been the same type of player
Yeah.
since high school, and some Reggie Miller and them was not. When you wait, time out. When you get to the league, for some, it take them a couple years to turn into who they are. But they always had the game that they've had, from even Nikola Jokic to everybody. LaMelo Ball, he played the same way he was playing as a freshman in Chino Hills. Then he's just professional. It's on a way bigger level, but his style of play and his way about playing, same way. So most of these players, they already are who they are. They just enhance their game as time goes on. They get stronger, smarter, whatever the case may be. But Brandon Miller has always played streaky as hell. If you watched him in Alabama, he has games where he disappears. He has halves where he disappears. He does this. So, and then when you see him in the summer league, it's like nothing new to what he was already doing at Alabama. It was just that was college, so he can get away with actually, making a bad game into a good game. So you got to see, if you didn't see, like, he had 0 points a couple games in the first half, and then he go off for 20 in the second half, like by getting to the free throw line and start to hit threes. So it's like it's not the same, bro. It's not the same. Certain people, they are who they are already before they get to the league, and they just like Kobe. Kobe had the swag, the confidence, all of that before he ever until he blossomed into an all-star. But you can tell by his mentality and how he carried himself, like, okay, yeah, he gonna come along. Like, and he was doing all of that stuff he was doing in high school in the league.
Kobe had confidence, and Kobe used to put up damn near 18 shots and shoot horrible percentage. Horrible.
Okay,
So yeah,
and
so yes, not so Miller's not that type of person.
right.
Reg, the reason why, once again, the reason why I bring those two up, and I'm gonna use his idol prime example. When Paul George first came into the league, he was not that aggressive. He had to blossom into that. The same reason why I'm bringing up Reggie Miller, because their games are similar.
No,
The
when Reggie
cold.
Miller was at
Let
UCLA,
me
he was a
finish.
cold
Hold
killer.
up, Poke. I let you talk. I let you talk. Now let me
You
talk.
can you keep trying to
Let me
compare two
talk.
niggas, they're not the
Let me
same.
talk now. Let me talk now. That when you look at his game, he's going to come off screens more, and that's the type of player he is. With the coach he had in college, he was trying to get him to play differently. But if you honestly look, he was more of a help defender, turned the turnovers into offense. Even with him just having a decent point guard, he produced. But the way, if we just go off of um your synopsis of the young man, he's only going to average six, maybe, no, he's going to average 4 or 6 points. And I'm
Yeah,
saying that
yeah, not,
because I'm actually listening to you, and you're killing him without at least 10 games. And I think that's what Slim is really talking about.
okay,
You're
okay,
making
man.
it
All
sound
right,
like this
all right.
man didn't play 10 games already. He
Listen,
hasn't played
listen.
10 games. You don't know. We don't even know if the coach really going to run the offense the way that they should, because they haven't
You
done
ready
that
for
in the past
excuses?
couple of seasons.
You ready for I don't care about none of that. Like I said, first of all, you're trying to reference him to Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller was on another level. And secondly, you just I don't know why you want to try to I don't know if it's because they got the same last name or something. But no, Reggie Miller's on a different level. And just because you trying to say because Reggie Miller took a couple years before he became Reggie Miller. No. I'm going off of what I've seen. And to answer you, Slat, no, I don't lie about nothing. I watched March Madness and watched Alabama and didn't see Brandon Miller because he was a no-show. But when I like I said before, when the Hornets got the number 2 pick, I went and watched the games. They got games on YouTube. They got high school games, Scoot Henderson on YouTube. So you can go watch the same games that I watch, not just highlights. They got their games on there. So no, I do no lying. I went and did my research on these two guys from their high school to the college, a couple games in college, a couple games at G League Ignite. Like I said, in a couple games that I watched in high school, Scoop was his two state championship games and his AAU game against Mikey Williams off the chain. He destroys Mikey. Him and Mikey Williams go at it, but he get the best of Mikey Williams. So I went and checked those out, and I went and checked out a couple games from his G League. Same thing with your boy Miller. Went and checked out a couple high school games. Went and checked out a couple of his college games. And then when listening to a YouTube say you're an Alabama fan and watch every game, and Miller is a very streaky player, and he broke down how Miller do, then yeah. So Miller is a streaky guy. Reggie Miller was never a streaky guy. Not in college, I'm talking about. In college, at UCLA, Reggie was deadly. So I don't know, babe.
But I'm gonna say this. Reggie Miller in college, he had help. I mean, he had a good team over there. So Brandon Miller, I don't think that team was as stacked as the Reggie Miller team over in college. So I don't know. Can you put that in? Can you insert that as a
no? Because
as an element?
Reggie Miller was I can't. Reggie Miller's a standout player, even though he had good players.
Shout out to Murdoch.
And so did Miller. He had good players on his team too. He had two NBA players that got drafted along with him this year. So it was three of them. Three of them dudes is in the league right now. That was
okay.
On the team. Yeah. So
they got drafted in first and second round, huh?
Yeah, first and second round, sir. So they had 2 first rounders and 1 second rounder. So
well, I take that back then. I didn't know that Alabama sent that many people to the pros off that team.
They was ranked 1 for a long time in the country.
I know. Yeah, they sure was.
But yeah, I mean Reggie was deadly, and he had that attitude. He had that dog in him. You seen the dog in Reggie. That's why
Reggie did not have that dog.
Oh my God.
He had to develop that. Reggie was soft when he first got in the league. Tell the truth.
Man, no, he was not soft. He just wasn't strong. He wasn't soft. It's just
he
like
definitely was a pencil. We can say he was a pencil.
He wasn't soft, man. He wasn't soft.
He was soft.
All right. All right, we disagree there. So that's what you want to try to call him. That super disagree. He just didn't have the strength of the league like a lot of players that come in. Even Abdul Rauf, it took him a minute. It took him a couple years until he like that's what it was, because back then, especially when you came in the league, you didn't come in the league with a bunch of dudes that still needed to develop. You didn't come in the league when dudes was going back and forth to the G League and in the league. You came in the league versus grown ass men, real grown men. People came in the league 3 years out of college. They was coming in the league at 21, 22 years old as rookies. Now you got a bunch of babies coming in the league and you playing against. So it's a different situation, sir.
But that's a good point, Gemini. He made a good point there.
He is not looking at it took Reggie Miller 3 years. He's not looking at
it. It took a lot of players 3 years, and Reggie Miller wasn't the number 2 pick neither.
Good point, Pope. Oh shit, Pope is on one right now.
Like this is what I'm saying. They keep trying to compare this dude. I keep talking about how he's not a number 2 pick worthy.
There's a reason why I bring the 2 players up. Because that's who his game is patterned behind. If you actually watch the tape on them, if you literally watch the tape like you said you do,
Yeah, I do,
Murdoch, you
man.
own
And I
one,
know
Murdoch. Come on the
Re-
panel.
Reggie Miller is one of my favorite players, bro. And I know how Reggie Miller play. I love the Indiana Pacers. I can tell you they squad that Reggie Miller played
You
for,
like
bro.
the
Like,
All-Star Reggie Miller. You don't like
nah,
the
nah, nah,
development Reggie Miller.
nah, you're talking about development in the league. I ain't talking about in the league. Listen, I knew Brandon Ingram when he got in the league. He was too skinny to get to his spots, to push
And
people
his
off like how he did.
confidence was
Hold
low.
on. Like how he did at Duke. But I knew once he got his strength, he would be able to do what you see him doing now in the league, going through people with that same frame, but he got his strength. So that's all it was. The same thing with Reggie, because Brandon always had the dog in him. Brandon Miller. I mean, not Brandon Miller, Brandon Ingram. Always had that dog in him from Duke. You've seen it. He had the same type of game he had at Duke that he has now that you see, just on a more professional level. But it took him a couple years because he didn't have the man strength. That's it. It wasn't because he was soft or that. That's the same thing with Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller just didn't have his man strength. And that's with a lot of rookies that came into the league at that time. They was coming in the league versus real grown men. So it
Man,
wasn't.
Mark Jackson used to even punk Reggie Miller at practice, and both of them laughed about it. Both of them even said that because he was soft at that time.
All right, bro. Mark Jackson has always been a beastie guard. This is what, like, he's
He
a
said beefy
background.
pause.
He's a back to the
Man,
basket
this
guard.
dude is killing me. If it's
Yeah, I
not
know I am
LaMelo, he
killing
don't
you.
care. If it's not LaMelo, he don't care, and everybody else is trash. That's all I'm hearing from him. He's
No, not at all. Yeah, the
Dex. I'm out,
Hornets.
Doc.
Hornets is
I holler,
trash.
Dex.
Yeah, Hornets is trash. Yeah, because you got cooked, my guy. Get up out of here. Trying to compare Miller because their last name is the same. Nah, you ain't get away with that around here, nigga. I watch Reggie Miller.
Okay, let me ask him this. Since he brought up Reggie Miller. We know Reggie Miller, he averaged double digits, but it was in the low double digits as a rookie. I think it was out of 87, 88. Now, he came from a good UCLA team, first of all. And now Pope just informed me that Miller came from a good collegiate team. So they washed there. But how much do you think, Gemini, that Brandon Miller will average as a rookie based on all your observation and your analyzation of Brandon Miller? What do you think he will average when the year is done? Gemini? Earth calling Gemini. Houston, we got a problem. Murdoch, we can give Miller that grace. I think Pope will be willing to give Miller that grace, but he just saying that from him to be picked at number 2 over the hot supposed to be picked Scoot Henderson, he don't see Miller thriving more than Henderson.
Yeah,
at
yo,
that high
we're
pick.
gonna get up out of here. We're gonna pull back up tomorrow.
Salute, like.
Shout out Dex. Shout out Pope. Appreciate everybody. Shout out Gemini. Salute to the chat. Murdoch was
Flight
good.
Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.